to the 6, we be in the mix. With that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane by to visit Glen Rockney. Crypto told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix. With that rare candy paint job on the whip, who you with?
I'm always
from the 5 to the 6, dude.
You know, I've been singing the Rare Candy theme song in the shower. That's real.
That's cool.
I've been doing like the Halo, like I'm not gonna do it here. I'm not gonna croon on air, but you know what I'm saying? Like I love that.
Don't you dare croon on here, dude. Don't you fucking dare.
From the 5 to the 6. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, if you want to keep going, you can. But
well, I think this is a good bridge because Rare Candy has an iconic theme song. Entourage has an iconic theme song. And you don't get that these days. TV shows have done away with theme songs. So I like that. I appreciate that with your show, Glenn. And thank you for having me back.
I'm so happy that a guy, a rapper from South Carolina, just said we needed a theme song and he sent it to me. I mean, how lucky did I get there? I mean, I zero input from me at all whatsoever. And it just landed. I had nothing to do with it. So that was awesome. But I'm here with 2 feature film directors.
Oh, yeah.
So we're covering Entourage seasons 1 through 4. I have a feeling that when it's time to do from the 5 to the 6 and all those ones, I have a feeling that when it's time to do that, I can't get these guys again because they're going to be fucking megastars. And they're going to be like, first off, pick me or Darius. I feel like that's what Lowres is going to say. You don't get both of us. And they're going to be at Cannes. Screen
again?
No, yeah. Come on, DC.
Yeah.
Don't brag here.
Yeah.
Also, I just learned, DC, you're shooting your next movie in Greece.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is guy.
It's happening. But first of all, Jay's gonna make it big before me. That's for sure. Second of all, I am so excited to be here, and I will always give you the time of day, Glenn. Remember those days when you didn't respond to my DMs? Those days.
That's never happened.
Well, it's not going to happen in the future then, because I will. I've
never not responded to you. Not once.
Are you confusing him with Mumkey Jones, who still won't reply to your DMs?
Yeah. Literally everybody online except my close friends.
Fuck out of here! Yeah. Dude.
No one wants to talk.
People
to me
message me before they reply to you. They're like, "Is this guy okay? Is he all right?" I'm a little concerned about some of his posts here.
He's more than okay. He's more than. Well, first off, no, but we haven't had a chance to ask you. What is TS Cam? What is that? I mean, I know what feature film. It's your feature film, but what is it? You're always 8 plates. TS can like there's I don't what is it? I obviously don't spoil your movie or anything.
No, there's I'm happy to quickly just go over it if you want. Basically, it's my first film. It's a feature film. I sent it to a few people. Glenn, I'm scared. I don't know what kind of movies you watch. I don't want to say.
Yeah, you think I haven't seen anything. So yeah,
that's true as well. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like it's the first film here. Very nice, shot here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, about a painter who can't get out of 2006. What do you?
I sent you my movie. How about that?
I had to ask.
Yeah.
I'm very selective, and I like to go in tiers of viewership. You were coming up.
Yeah, I was like, hey, can I watch your movie? He's like, don't you dare show it to him. But I'm like, dude, I'm not.
Great move, Glenn, asking me about my movie, then cutting me off right when I start talking about it. Awesome.
Yeah, who's that remind you? Who's that remind you of? Yeah. Anyways,
I got trolled big time.
Tell me about it. Okay.
No, it's all right. Yeah, it's a big movie, huge movie, slow cinema. Shot here in Montreal with great actors, I believe. Some of which first timers. Jay didn't like one of them, but that's
I hated one guy. Honestly,
he's gross
every time he popped up.
He's one of my best friends, but he's disgusting on the film. He's so gross. Like I want to puke the whole way through. Mm-hmm. Very, very like the essence of the loser who can't accept any responsibility and just keeps going and being like, "Yo, the world's again." I think it works perfectly fine. Anyways, the movie's fantastic. Glenn, you're gonna blow your socks off, bro.
Would love to see it. Would be honored to watch it.
Honestly, DC's got some beautiful shots in the movie. He's got a very interesting editing style. DC is one of the young up-and-coming filmmakers that I do genuinely respect, and I'm excited about what he's going to be creating in the future.
That's so
you
nice.
want it, because you reflexively we want to like kick his ass a little bit, but I'm like, I know he's fucking good. That's the thing. And I haven't seen anything, but I know he is, because he wouldn't bullshit. He wouldn't be the guy that he is if he didn't turn out good shit. Because I mean, well, I hope so. I hope, because if I hate it, oh my god.
Well, that's the thing as well.
Yeah.
And this is very pretentious. And we can get off this and get to the actual masterpiece, which is Entourage. But really, I think if you feel strongly, I'm happy. Whether it's discussed, whether it's born, that's really what I want. I would hate. Oh yeah, all right, yeah. That is fucking grinds my gears. Peter,
solid
Griffin's
effort, bro. That was a solid effort, bro.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what you do next. I hate that shit. I hate
keep grinding, bro.
But no, it's really good. It's really good. Jay's film as well. Let's get to it later. It's a mid roll.
Just real fast. What's the plan? What's the plan of release? Is there a plan of release for it?
Yeah, basically it's just going to be like sending out to a bunch of festivals. I have some connections in the industry now, and that doesn't mean anything, but we'll see. I got a few good responses so far from like programmers and everything, so I'm very excited about that. If none of that pans out still, I'm just gonna do a few screenings here and there and move on to the next one. You know, I'm not gonna wait for this to blow up until I do my next movie. So yeah.
There you go. Nice. And then you guys, last time Lowres was on, which wasn't too terribly long ago, we were talking about Mass State Lottery. He's being careful in the way he releases it, and rightfully so, because I have seen that movie and I loved it. So you guys should be on the lookout for that. Yeah, shout out. Excellent film. So let's talk about something, because this was funny how this came around. A little behind the scenes. I reached out to DC and I'm like, hey, you did tell me that Entourage is your favorite show. I had a little time and I was like, I'll finally watch this, because I completely missed it when it came out. And I watched it and I'm like, hey, do you want to, if I finish this, you want to come on? And all of a sudden I'm in a group text. I'm in a group chat, but I know the guy who's in it, and he's like, "Hey, we're all gonna kind of do this," and I'm excited. I'm excited for it, because I have been having a blast watching Entourage, and I still haven't finished it yet, because I want to. I kind of like the whole. You guys have seen it. I haven't all the way, but I've watched season 1 through 4. I can't get enough of it. I think it's. I'm pretty shocked. I'm pretty shocked how much I was ready to hate it. To be honest, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck." No, it doesn't. It's wonderful. But I'll kick it off to you, DC. Why is this like just the masterpiece to you?
Well, I don't know if I would say necessarily it's a masterpiece that way. Just nothing else makes me feel like that show. You know, it's the ultimate parasocial. Because like, when people say, "Oh, I listen to podcasts to hang out with my friends," because I don't really have friends, they talk about comedians or people like that, and that's not so interesting of a life. You're just hating on shit. You're just like, oh, what if this was this? And I have nothing against it, but Entourage is literally the most crazy lifestyle that you get to be put into as that like fifth friend. And it's such a great experience. And of course, it's a relic of its time. We have all the peak American culture and then the 2000s right there, with all the music, with all the shows, with all the it's still old school Hollywood. There's still producers and stuff like that that aren't just German guys on freaking Zoom. That sort of stuff is just, it's fantastic. Of course, I love everything about it as well, like the aesthetic style as well. It's the sense of, I want to put some music in that's going to be expensive as shit, but we're going to end the episode with the Rolling Stones. That sort of stuff I like as well. It's crazy. The music budget on this film, on this series, which I treat it as a film. It's like my return, Twin Peaks. It's just terrific. So for all these reasons, man, it's a great show. It's just a good time. I can put out an episode anytime and just have a fun time with my buddies Vince, E, Drama, and Turtle, and sometimes Dom. And it's great.
Sometimes Dom is great, but they definitely. I was about done with him by the time they cast him off. I was like, okay, that's a good thing. It does is nothing. They know what to throw away, is what I like about that show. Anytime you're like, okay, I'm about done with this guy, he's gone, and it's like it's as though as I told Doug Ellin, that's a parasocial thing. So I was like, hey, Doug, I'm done, and then it's out of there. But then they keep, the friend group together. At least through these first 4 seasons, they keep the friend group together, and it's just so good. Lowres, what about you? Your history with this? Did you watch it live?
Oh, I did watch it live. Yeah. I was not like religious. I have to tune in every Sunday night or whenever they put it on, but it was such a thing because it's Mark Wahlberg's baby, and obviously I'm from Boston, so it was always this like thing in the background of like, Entourage is what cool people watch. Entourage is what you want your life to be. And going back to it for the first time in about 15 years, it's everything that, DC just said. It's really opening a time capsule from 2004 and getting a fresh whiff of that. And I didn't realize how ahead of the curve the show was
Yeah.
in satirizing aspects of Hollywood. Like there are jokes here in seasons 1, 2, 3 that predate Tropic Thunder, but I think Tropic Thunder kind of stole the
Yeah.
glimmer of and becomes known for. And it's like, wow, they nailed it first, and it's here. It's present in this. And I think it is like a very underrated series. It doesn't get its due nowadays because of the rejection of bro culture, the rejection of anything that could be marketed towards younger men. You know, I think if you were to get Entourage in this last period of time, you know, 1/5 of the show as it exists now is probably making it in. And I think we're probably due for a revival season. I think the conditions are starting to line up socially where we could get a revival season of Entourage soon.
Well, I mean, to me, it's Sex in the City for guys. My wife has Sex in the City on. I've seen a bunch of isolated episodes, but I'm like, the magic for me is not there. You know, it's like but she's just locked in because that's what you do with your girlfriends. You know, whatever they do, whatever. The hell
Which, by the way, I also at the same time I rewatched season 1, which was yesterday. I tuned into, and just like that, season 3, episode 1, just out of the blue, and I was like, "What's going on this series at this point?" And Cynthia Nixon is just now she's herself from real life.
Doesn't she fuck Rosie O'Donnell?
Yes, it opens with her and Rosie fucking.
Nice.
There's a beautiful scissoring scene in the season premiere. And the look of the show is so eerie and plastic. And I remember watching parts of Sex in the City because it was like my go-to show as a kid where I was like, ooh, maybe there's going to be something spicy on here. And I'd shut the door to my bedroom, which I never did or probably wasn't allowed to do at 10 o'clock. And I would hope, you know, maybe you see something good. Never, ever. But, you know, tuning into it, it's got the look of a Netflix show, but they do this thing that reminds me of Greg Turkington's movies on Cinema at the Cinema, where it's like you have the actors and then you have the green screen background that looks so artificial. And I realize what they're doing with this show, because they do shoot in New York all the time. They're going to these locations at like the Lincoln Center Ballet or a Chinese restaurant, and they'll shoot the location and the extras, and then they'll shoot the name actors separately in a studio and then plop like them in chairs to make it look like that. And it's got this weird artificial vibe. I would hate to see that happen with Entourage if they go back to Hollywood and you know, but expect it if it does happen.
Yeah, I also, man, I think what I love about Entourage is the time capsule element of it so much, and just I wouldn't having it be current. Like I don't know if I would be able to escape. This was full on escapism for me. Was just watching this, and because it's not a life I lived. I mean, I was like the fucking Great Value Walmart version of like going to clubs like with people and not in Aquaman or anything. I was like, oh, that guy toured with the Dilated Peoples once. Like, whoa, like an underground rapper. It was like that kind of level. But you still just the transparency of a friend group where you're like, that guy's lame, never gets laid, pretends that he does. That guy, everybody knows everything about each other, and it's fine. Whereas like women have to hide all these things from each other, have to do all it's completely a male show. It might be it's close to the most male show out there. I mean, it's tough, like in terms of male relations, which I sadly I don't have anymore. That's the sad part, is like is realizing I'm like, man, all my friends are fucking losers now. You know, including me, probably. They probably think that about me, but it's just like, that's a magical show, man. It's magical. So DC, you were like a kid when this came out. That's what I was laughing about.
DC was in diapers.
Yeah,
I was 3 when that came out, but I saw the whole thing later. Yeah,
as a baby pointing at Billy Walsh on the screen. just first word is Queens Boulevard.
By the way, DC, doesn't Billy Walsh look exactly like our friend Paige?
No.
You don't think so? Are you out of your mind? Are you crazy?
I'm so sorry.
A guy named Paige?
A guy named Paige Garcia, and he's not a woman or Hispanic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's cool, man. We got off on the wrong foot, I think. And I
no, not you and somebody.
Yeah, no.
Get out of here. I don't
put that out on the internet. I'm very friendly, but that's the thing. It's like he's actually a great guy, very, very cool. So I jive with Jay's appreciation of Paige. Shout out Paige. However, I don't think he's got the Billy Walsh vibe. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say vibe. I said the look. I said he looks exactly like Billy Walsh.
That's not true though.
It is true. It's absolutely. I need to
you
pull up
spent
a
more
reference
time
photo.
with him than I did, so maybe a different angle, a different lighting setup or something.
We're going to get you right back to the episode, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a few other things we offer at Rare Candy Industries. We have a Substack with free and paid subscription options. Free subscribers get access to all written content. That includes Bob's Red Pill. That's the best thing going on the internet right now. Trust me. Paid subscribers get full access to our premium episode feed. And that's just every episode we don't necessarily want to share with the general public, if you know what I'm saying. Again, that's rarecandy.substack.com. We also have merch. That link's a little long for me to say right now, but go to the description, go to our merch store, and find a shirt that's right for you. We have Rare Candy shirts, Dr. Bronner soap label shirts, Rishi mushroom shirts, all types of stuff there. Check it out. There's got to be something for you. And lastly, check us out on social media. On Instagram, we're Rare Candy Pod, but on Twitter, we're at Rare Candy Pod 1. All right, enough of that. Let's get you back into the episode.
But
well, I was laughing though because I was ready in our chat. I was ready to just be like, oh my god, DC is totally Billy Walsh. And then I checked the chat and he changes his fucking name to Billy Walsh.
I wish, man. It's not gonna happen, but
no, it's you. It's 1,000% you. Like I said, we have to scale it. We scale it, right? We scale these things. Like this is like maybe one day. Who knows? You're young. I mean, you could be. Absolutely.
He won Sundance at 24. I don't know. The clock's ticking.
That's it. You gotta adjust for inflation now. Fucking 28. All right,
So
like
true.
it's. So, anyways, I and then I look and I'm like, I really feel like E. I'm gonna drop a bomb, and then my fucking name is changed to E in the chat. Before I was like, that's fucking me. I was like, and it's crazy, because it's accurate, and there's a lot of literally me stuff. But Billy Walsh is funny. I mean, he's obviously not part of the main friend group, but he's this director who and this is not DC. I don't believe DC thinks his shit doesn't stink, but the way he talks about movies, where he'll just be like, yeah, I've seen that movie like 20 times. Like, yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. It fucking sucks. Like, that's like the way DC talks about things. Like, is this like, I've consumed every aspect of that thing and I hate it. I love that. I was smiling the whole time, and just his like bleeding heart for the craft, but it's kind of this like hamster wheel that maybe doesn't allow you to actually just put a damn thing out. And I'm not saying you do that. I just know that I could easily see you doing that though. That's what I love. I love about it. So tell me about Billy, man. It was the first time you saw him, you were just like, I mean, obviously you were 3 years old when you saw it.
No, I didn't actually watch Entourage at that time.
I watched the remote. Yeah.
No, I watched it much later. Actually, I saw Korean Entourage before Entourage proper.
Yo, I just learned that was a thing right now,
sucks.
and it sucks.
It really sucks. The first scene is the guys. It's 4 guys that look like women because it's like very K-pop vibes. I love Korea. I'm the #1 Korea guy. Don't even.
Hey, I'm the #1 Korea guy.
I'm the 1.5 then, because I really, really, really like Korea. But the thing is, this show is so sissified. Okay, the first scene is all 4 guys, naked, 100% naked in a spa, basically. And there's the Japanese hentai blur on their private parts, and they're just like joking around and splashing water around. That's the first scene of Entourage Korea. So
their culture it would never be conducive with anything that you would find on Entourage. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had no idea. I'm probably not going to check it out, but
if you want, just for the first few seconds, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Like, but it does have the same logo, and it says based on the show by Doug Ellin, etc. Anyways, Entourage proper. I love the show. Yeah, it's great. Billy Walsh, though, I don't know. At the first time you actually meet him, you're like, okay, it's gonna be this like, but his decline. His absolute, like, going from he's the shit to we actually see the movie and it's one of the worst pieces of pretentious doctors of all time. It's so good, man. It's so I love everything about it. And as well, the slow reveal that he's actually from money and that his dad gave him like a fucking Rolex as a graduation gift. So good. So good, man.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, we're the Block Boys, Queen. Yeah, I love that whole thing. And then also when they finally reconnect with him and he's just directing pornography, that absolutely kills me. That part kill. And he's just like, it is like a total classic. Like, well, if I can't make my art, I'll just make the ultimate exploitative trash. Like, we all know that bleeding heart kind of every coin flip thing that doesn't go my way is just I'll just give it all up.
Yeah.
And until a script comes by that I'll pretend I hate, and then I'll do it and make it about Sofia Vergara. Like, it's,
Every
man.
third director I've met has been Billy Walsh. I knew the guy who was that pretentious and then wound up going to porn and using the name Orson Swelles for his work.
Yeah, I like that.
And especially in New York, you run into a lot of the trust fund kids who are like very highly attuned to like they'll know, you know, they'll know the encyclopedia on film back and forth, and they'll think it's going into their work, and it's not, and you get exactly what you wind up with here. So extremely familiar character. DC's nothing like Billy Walsh in that regard.
No, I just
all right, guys.
I
What are you protecting my ego here? You're complimenting me, and then
no, you're not. It's just really funny because I'm also not like E, but I conduct. I view certain things that way. You know what I mean? Like I'm not 5'4", and also
working at Sparrows. Yeah.
That's true. I have never actually. I'm not actually. I've worked a lot of that tier of work. Never a pizza guy, but the idea of that E is just like he's hanging out with people that party really hard, but not partying hard. That's me. Like, absolutely bleeding heart, whatever relationship he's in is like, he's super invested in that and thinks that any move that he makes is going to ruin it, except the one he actually makes, which does ruin it. Oh gosh. And just the kind of, he wants to be one-on-one with Vinny all the time, kind of. And I'm a one-on-one type person. That's exactly that type of the person. But I want to talk about the genesis of the show because I didn't know anything about the genesis of it because you keep seeing Mark Wahlberg's name all over it.
Right.
And you realize, well, Adrian Grenier is not Mark Wahlberg. Like, it couldn't be more not him. And you realize the show could not have worked if it was a Mark Wahlberg type. I think you get sick of that quick if it's open baseball jersey Boston guy, if he dresses like Turtle basically, but is Mark Wahlberg and is like breaking stuff constantly. Vinny is just this constant like ATM machine, but he knows that he's basically lighting money on fire. However, he's giving money and all of these perks, going out of his way to buy Turtle shoes from a Japanese guy or something. Doing all of these things, knowing damn well he's getting none of it in return. But also the fact is everybody else he meets outside of that friend group is worse because they have no vested interest in him. It's just so I love that full transparency. Whereas Mark Wahlberg would be like, "Fuck you! You don't get any fucking money from me." It wouldn't work for as long.
Vinny Chase feels more pussy posse coded to me, like a DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, Lucas Haas type, and E was in that as a kid. And that's I believe how he met Mark Wahlberg is through Basketball Diaries.
Isn't he in The Sandlot, Kevin Connolly?
He could be. It's been a while since I've seen The Sandlot.
Yeah, I can't remember.
No, but they do that a lot on the show, and I love it very much because they don't dwell on it. But every time there's a major celebrity on there, like not a guest star, but someone like Mark Wahlberg or Kanye, there's like the entourage of that person as well. So when they meet Mark Wahlberg in the hallway, he has his own Boston entourage. It's just it's so beautiful, man. It's very it sounds sarcastic, but it's so artistic, this show.
No, it is.
They really he I don't know if it's Doug or whoever else is working on the show, but there is a sense of we're gonna make this rock. It doesn't matter if this small detail is gonna be missed by the drunk bros trying to watch this on fucking HBO in 2007. We want to make this as precisely hell yeah as a show as we can. So I love that stuff. But enough about Mark Wahlberg. Let's talk about the real deal here. Vinny Chase. What do you think about Vinny Chase? Because so many opinions online are wrong about Vinny Chase.
He's excellent. He's fucking excellent. And first off, like I did a deep dive on Adrian Grenier because I remember last time I was on 8 Plates, we watched him on like Jordan Peterson.
Oh yeah, I bring it up to everybody I know. Every single person I've shown this clip to. Yeah,
and it's weird because they did an Entourage podcast, and I will talk about him on the show. But Adrian Grenier is they do this like I think it's called Victory or something. This like Entourage, Doug Ellin and Kevin Connolly and I think Kevin Dillon's part of it too. But they couldn't get Adrian Grenier to show up like for the longest time, which is pretty funny, pretty poetic actually. And but they couldn't get him to show up for it, and he finally does, and he does like I just wasn't in the headspace, man. And he talks about like I got to do no fap, I got to do all this stuff to get back in, and they're making fun of that, not in a hateful way either. They're just like making fun, and he's just like, and like they're going, hey Doug, I told you not to make fun of fucking Adrian's nofap and like all and they're really like careful with it. And I was like, to turn this off. I don't want I want Vinny Chase. I want Vinny Chase that smiles at everything, that is just like this bimbo guy, but he's not. I don't think he's that stupid either. Like the idea that he's like stupid, I think he fully understands everything that's happening. And I love the idea that he has, you know, his massive hit. And he's constantly passing on what Matterhorn or whatever, but he has his big hit in Aquaman and he immediately buys his passion project. That's like stuff I would do, you know, but I'm also not, I know I'm not Vinny Chase. I don't, stuff doesn't just wash off me the way it washes off him.
I mean, life-ending mistakes are just another day for him. That's what's sick. That's what it's almost a Tommy Shelby like character where you're like, well, until the end there, but you basically know he's gonna get away with it until later on in the show. No matter if he's going bankrupt, if there's an issue, if you know friendships break, it doesn't matter because he's gonna be Vinny Chase tomorrow as well. The thing is about Grenier though, I respect to him obviously for his work and everything, but he is the most Hollywood type guy of all time because after the end of the show, he didn't do this bro cool stuff, Joe Rogan type stuff. He was more of the environmentalist. Guys, we got to save the avocado plants on the in the deep sea in fucking Tunisia. That's the type of stuff he was doing. That didn't work anymore, and now he's in the manosphere, sort of like I'm doing meditation, stoicism, and stuff like that. So
what I know about him is he's been
Bitcoin.
He's been very vague about his ethnic heritage. Where he claims to be Hispanic, but he doesn't really go into detail about that. He won't name a specific Hispanic ethnicity. I think he also identifies as Native American. So he's all, it all tracks for him. I think he's the perfect man to be cast as Vinny Chase.
They had to push for him too, because I think a lot of this, you see all the celebrity cameos in Entourage, and I'm not saying this started from nothing, but it was what I gather, it was not meant to be a hit HBO show. It was not the 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. if you're on the East Coast thing that plays for an hour. I mean, it's a half-hour episode. This was that show. That slot of HBO is really interchangeable, and shit does not last long there. So they really, I don't think they were guaranteed much, and I think a lot of the studios wanted a kind of over the top Mark Wahlberg type character, especially because that's the person who's probably trying to make this show something, the person who's getting the favors for people to show up in the show, I would imagine. Because what had any of these guys done before? What was Doug Ellin? I mean, what was Doug Ellin before? I know.
There's a short film about a waiter who wants to go to Hollywood or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. But the guy's really I forget who's the guy in Pretty in Pink. You know, the loser guy?
Andrew McCarty. No.
John Cryer.
John Cryer, that's right. So he did one short film and then he went on to do Entourage. So that's the type of nonsensical filmography.
Yeah, the concept of Entourage, I believe, because I was watching a lot of Mark Wahlberg interviews, was they were trying to pitch him on doing a reality series with his friend group. And I don't know if you guys jumped into Wahlburgers at all. Like I jumped into Wahlburgers.
I watched a little bit of it.
Okay. The first 2 episodes, you get like a clear, all right, here's the real Johnny drama. Here's there's been a lot of men, I don't know why, but there's a lot of these men out there that are claiming I'm the basis of Turtle. And on Wahlburgers, there's an obese, short, kind of obnoxious guy named Nacho who is like, yeah, I'm Turtle. But then you see a separate interview around the time of Entourage, the movie with Mark Wahlberg, where he's talking about, my friend Donkey. I have this friend named Donkey, who's the basis of Turtle.
That's fine.
Okay. And then just out of nowhere, I don't know where this came from. I watch a lot of Vanderpump Rules, and one of the cast members on there dates a Hollywood producer named Randall Emmett, who just produces total shit. All these like Bruce Willis, Vacant Head roles that you've seen in the last 5 years. He's responsible for those, but he's friends with Martin Scorsese. Okay. He claims he's the basis of Turtle, which is probably the most bullshit, I would have to imagine. Right? I don't know why they want to be this guy so bad.
Yeah, that's the worst person to be. See, I don't think anybody relates to being Turtle because he's got no drive. And the only thing that pushes him to actually do something later on is everybody's making fun of him for being a fucking loser. So he's like, I got to do something. I got to invest in this real estate deal or whatever. You know, like
and Saigon. Don't forget about Saigon.
Well, yeah, but Saigon as well. That's just something that he was like, but it's Saigon, man. That's all he was doing. He didn't do anything.
I listened to Saigon. I no joke did. Like, and I hadn't watched Entourage. I like this because he was real. People, I think a lot of people don't think he's like a real rapper.
That was me until today. And when you actually posted the song, I didn't know it was a real rapper.
And it's totally rapidy rap. Like, I'll lyrically slice you with my lyrical samurai sword. You know, like it's like the shit in like 2007 that was so cool, I guess. And it sounds actually terrible now, but at the time I was like, no fucking way. This is I don't know if it's a chicken or the egg thing. Did Saigon come from Entourage and then start putting music out on rap blogs?
Maybe.
Or did they say this is an underground rap? Because he's from New York, so I was like, this isn't even an LA rapper. This is a New York rapper. So like, I thought it was interesting.
Lily Shoo Shoo, you know that movie all about Lily Shoo Shoo? That was not a real band, and then the singer from that movie started a band because the songs are so good. So yeah, it might have.
Mark Wahlberg should have done Steel Dragon for real, dude. Fucking from
there's still time.
Rock star. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's plenty of time. But yeah, that was Turtle is interesting because you don't want to be him. Like when the musical chairs stop and there's chairs with each Entourage character's name, you do not want to sit in the fucking. You'd rather not have a seat.
No, and the entire first season.
You want to have a friend though. I think you want to have a Turtle in your friend group though.
The entire first season, Turtle is very one-dimensional, where he's just Vinny's dick sucker, and he like all of his lines are just and he backs up why Vinny is right in his like stupidity and why he's doubling down on that. He's just like the worst kind of enabler. I did want to ask if you guys felt like Entourage took a little while to develop its real character, because that's something I feel like I noticed when I went back here. Is season 1. I don't want to say you can write it off because there's a lot of great moments and character aspects to that first season, but it doesn't really start to feel like itself until season 2.
For sure.
Well, the way I view it is, and I can tell they didn't have a lot of time to like keep this for the studios weren't going to give them that much time. So I think they went with very simple stuff.
Yeah.
Right? This guy does this. This guy does this. This guy does this. And then we just do jokes and jokes and jokes within those parameters. It's kind of like sports teams like this. When a manager has 1 year left or a guy that assembles a team together, they don't think about 4 years from now. And so they'll get a bunch of has-been guys in there. They'll do all this stuff. And then you're like, well, our team sucks and I got fired, you know? Whereas if you know you have 4 years, you're going to like, no. Let's just plant the seeds. Let's get this going. You can tell they didn't know that. And I think towards the end of season 1, they realized, okay, I think we have something here. I think this is resonating with people. There's catchphrase. I think they did a lot with the, well, is it a meeting or is it a discussion? No, a discussion means it's a lot of those, that stuff really resonates with people. That was the type of humor that was really popular around that time. And they really lean on that in the first season, and it kind of just they sprinkle it back in later, but you can tell they just kind of were like, we need to float, we need to like tread water with this, we need one more season for this to work. And I say that I think the end of season 1's pretty good, but it's kind of like background noise for the first like 5 or 6 episodes, I think.
Totally.
For the most part, where you just have it on, you're like, oh, that's kind of funny, and then by like season 2, by the time all the Aquaman stuff starts, I'm like locked in, I think.
It becomes much more of a film nerd show than like the first season is very much the movies as this device to move everything along. But season 2 is actually this producer, that reference to something that actually happened, Robert Evans, et cetera, et cetera. And by the end, it just becomes so crazy that they're doing parodies of Werner Herzog. That's not something they would have done in the first season at all.
What's the Werner Herzog parody?
Sorry, that's too far ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't care. I thought I missed it. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. No. But they do. Did you? I did not rewatch anything for this show, and I love Rare Candy. That's not that had no relation. But it's true. But
that was not necessary to say. That's okay.
No, but for real this time. Anyways, what I mean is though that they even do a Harvey Weinstein parody, which is so. So you've seen him in season 4 as well, or not yet?
I watched all of season 4. Yes, I'm up to Medellin tanking at Cannes.
Okay, right. So exactly, what crazy like Bourdain and Argento's like starting of the Me Too movement in like 2017 or something. That is way later. To make fun of Harvey Weinstein at that time is one of those elements you were talking about. That's so.
What is the Weinstein? See, I thought the syllabus was 1 through 3, so I haven't. I delved, I think, accidentally into 4 because I was just like, damn, this is so good.
That was the original syllabus.
We can keep it for later. But there's a character.
I won't let you guys know who changed up the syllabus at possibly the last second.
Not me.
Yeah, correct. I just won't tell you guys who did it. It's correct.
Yeah.
It wasn't DC, but I won't tell you
Yeah.
guys who did it. Of course. But anyways, I did watch it though. I did watch it because season 3 is 20 episodes. So I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, wait, I thought I was done with season 3. Thank God we pushed it back because I was like, oh, I only have 2 episodes left and I'll do that right before we watch. I was like, no, I have 9 episodes left of season 3.
That's
and
right.
I think season 3 is no joke perfect in my opinion. I think
I agree. I think it's the best one by far.
Wow. Like I was like, this is awesome.
Okay, let's go through
Harvey
them though, if you want.
Yeah.
But Harvey Weinstein, real quick, I don't want to. We'll talk about it later. But basically, they have this character, this disgusting pig who looks just like Harvey Weinstein, called Harvey Weinblatt on the show. And what he does, and these are things that we, as the normies, learned way later. He's that person. So he helped all these movies get made. He's the guy you want to impress.
Yeah.
But as soon as you don't do something he wants, he starts screaming and screeching, and he's very. But that is. I'm telling you, these are all things we learned later, but they knew.
Fight though, like because they make him like a brawler. That's what I was wondering about Harvey Weinstein. I could never.
Oh, he's big. He's a big guy. He's doing the fake Bill Cosby "I'm disabled for court" thing, but before he was a big.
No, he's
big
like
fella.
the Kingpin from Spider-Man.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, because I didn't get. I was like, wait, this guy's like fighting, and he's wearing like the weird like John Candy like hat.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Wilson
like,
Fisk.
Yeah. It's nuts. Like but yeah, because you clearly can. And I'm glad I didn't watch this back in whenever it came out because I wouldn't have got any of those references. By the way, I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know what Harvey Weinstein was back then. I had no clue. I would have not. It's still funny on like just the humor itself is funny. Yeah. But like there's just another layer that I wouldn't have got back then that would have I probably would have eventually petered out of the show and got kind of tired of the friend.
Yeah, I mean Weinstein's reputation around this time was that he was difficult to be around and he would fuck A-list women, but consensually, obviously the courts would look at that a little differently in 2018 or 2019. Now he's a free man, I think, right? Or no, he's back in prison, isn't he? Because Candace Owens talked to him.
Yeah, because it was in prison, right? Didn't she talk to him like?
Yeah, I could have sworn that they were like, we fucked up, just like Cosby. We fucked up here.
She paywalled that. That was pretty sneaky of her, so I didn't watch it. Yeah.
Yep.
But okay. But let's wind back. Season 1, there's not much.
Wind back.
Let's wind black. And but season 1 is like they're laying the groundwork, but you can tell they're not sure that they have 10 fucking years or whatever to tell the story of Entourage, but they're kind of just trying to make sure Johnny Drama, Johnny Drama's a loser, has been. Make sure that, and I say Drama's the best in my opinion.
I was getting the vibe they were setting him up as a closet gay because there were all these, what are you, a fairy? And then they
the
just
muscle
kind of
girl,
that.
the muscle girl that he's dating. Yeah,
the whole time. Calves. Yeah.
And with all the trans stuff they incorporate in later, you think Kevin Dillon would have walked into that, right?
I want to hear you guys' opinion on this. I used to be team Drama. I was like, I want to get him to the success he deserves. This time, and I watch Entourage all the time, by the way. It's not, I didn't rewatch any specific season, but this is like a constant stream of like, if I don't know what to watch and I don't want to just like fry my brain, either I'll watch nothing or Entourage or Parts Unknown. That's like my 2 shows I always go back to. But then this show here, I despise. In the last few months, I hate Johnny Drama so much. It's unreal. I can't stand him. Every time he opens his mouth, I can't stand him. I don't know what happened. I used to be team Drama, but I just hate him.
I don't know what happened. That's kind of like me. That's kind of like me with Sopranos. That's kind of like me with Sopranos. I watched Sopranos again, and I hate Paulie now.
Oh yeah.
And as a kid, when I watched Sopranos, I thought he was the funniest fucking guy in the world. But I could see that. I mean, because this is my first go around, and I actually think he's really endearing, and I'm like,
yes,
I'd be like, come here, give me a hug, dude. Like, I got you, man. You guys are being mean to you, man.
I love Kevin Dillon can do no wrong, from the Blob, the Chuck Russell Blob from 1988, where he's got a Jerry Kroll mullet, to these Mel Gibson direct to Redbox movies he's done, where he'll Reagan's another one. There you go. But what is it that annoys you about? Is it like his one noteness as the character? Is it his attitude or what?
It's the. Well, you got to look at it like this. Every time he starts speaking, it's like, well, you got to look at it like this. I
don't think it sounds like that.
I know I'm a terrible impressionist, but my point is that every time, like every reaction, he's just going back to the same thing, and it was great. It's the one, but I guess the one noteness. Just something I hate him now. I hate Johnny Drama.
Wow, that one hurts my feel. I feel like I'm Johnny. I feel like I'm Johnny right now, and you said that.
No. Hans is Johnny. We should get Hans.
I mean Hans is the real Lloyd. You know, I would say that.
He's Lloyd.
Yeah, he and I are Ari and Lloyd. I would say.
Yeah, you're Ari. I could see that for sure. But yeah, I will say the thing that I think Ari kind of carries the show season 1 too. Like that's fair to say, where you're just like, because I remember thinking going into it, I didn't know Jeremy Piven from anything, but he was always around because that show was popular and you'd see him everywhere. And I'm like, that guy just seems really fucking annoying. Like when I looked at him, and then the show, he's hysterical. Learning that he wasn't improvising any of it, I thought was interesting. Like that's all Doug. He's like, no, I said everything on the script that was. That's crazy to me because like you would think there's at least some pockets to drop another line, another slur or whatever in there. But yeah, I love Ari and his wife's I think it's at the end of season 1 or the end of season 2 when they're sitting in bed and his wife's reading Consider the Lobster by David Foster Wallace and I don't know why it's like so stupid because obviously she's the alpha in the marriage, but it's great. You're a woman reading David Foster Wallace in bed while your husband's like pretending that he fucks so many girls that he does not. It's hysterical. Hey, but that's what keeps season 1 going. I think Jeremy Piven really saved that show in the first season.
In general, I think he's one of the best parts. Yeah,
for sure. No, he never loses it.
Have you guys seen The Irishman?
Of course.
You know, that's every time they present a gangster, they put the time of death and how they died and how brutally he died. That's what I feel about Entourage as well. Each of these people, you can see like, oh, used to be the star of the show, now is doing stand-up comedy, smoking stogies. Like that's what Jeremy Piven is now because he got canceled as well. He's also doing this.
Yeah, what did he get canceled for? I know.
Same thing. They're all disgusting guys. They're all like pinch under the dress type.
Well,
guys.
he reinvented himself as Mr. Selfridge for PBS Masterpiece Theater or something. And now, he became like the stand-up guy.
The dark stand-up guy.
Because that was the only community that would accept, anybody like that.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's kind of softly returned. I don't think HBO would greenlight a reboot just yet, but give it about 2 to 3 years and people will just be like, whatever. When James Franco comes back, that's when Jeremy Piven will come back.
I was one day away from meeting James Franco, and I'm so pissed off, dude. All of my friends met James Franco, and I left just the day before. So
damn, dude, he's a fucking Bay Area legend.
No, he's literally right now. I want to see all his movies, but it's going to be impossible in the U.S. I'm assuming, or in Canada. He did the Italian movie in 2024. Yeah, exactly. Where he's like a fisherman or something. This is the era of film. This is the cinema I want to see, but I can't see.
He's a little beefy these days. He's kind of gotten a little wide. It doesn't suit his form or his face, but he'll lose that.
Yeah, he always need that look like an action figure. That's always like how James Franco is supposed to look. But yeah, what's that? Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I go deep in Franco. Okay, the Dave Franco sort of took the place of James Franco. The only reason why Dave Franco has a career is because James can't play.
Yeah, isn't that funny? You think you'd poison the family tree, wouldn't you? Like if you were trying to get rid of a guy.
No. It feels weird. You see the studio and Dave Franco does pop up at a certain point. Like I think the third episode, I have an episode on the studio I've been cooking up for a little while now. And it's like, okay, well, they're trying to do kind of similar to Entourage, but it feels like an insincere version of that.
It's Letterboxd, the movie. Yeah, it's like, oh, remember when Ari Aster did this? No, we can't do Ari Aster. It's and then the one shot thing. Everybody loves Goodfellas so much.
That's what I keep hearing about, the one shot thing, and that's what's taking me out of watching it. And also Apple TV.
Played out.
Just anything on Apple TV, I'm always like, well, that'll be fun for an episode, and then I'll forget about it. So that's
Severance, dude. You don't want to watch Severance?
I watched the first season, but it was fucking 5 years ago. So I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? Watch the first season again? I didn't like it that much. Yeah,
I love Walter Mitty. I love Walter Mitty. Don't say anything bad about Walter Mitty, bro. He's the best. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is such a great film.
He got signed on for Twilight Zone, the movie 2.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Piven should be right alongside him. I think it should be a package deal.
He was in Heat. Jeremy Piven was in Heat in the great scene where De Niro asked for his shirt, and it's like, my daughter gave me this shirt. That's
right. Yeah.
No,
that's
Rush Hour 2.
Yes.
That's his best role, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Seinfeld,
the gay customer service man.
And guess what? Rush Hour 3 comes in as a plot point in Entourage, where Brett Ratner invites Johnny Drama thinking that
yeah,
it's the
yes.
young, thinking it's the young co-star from the Five Towns, the new NBC drama. And then he's like, fuck, it's this 45-year-old guy or whatever. It's great. And he's like, no, Brett Ratner, you're a scammer just like me, man. Like, you know, it's good. And I think Mark Wahlberg's pitch for like celebrity cameos was like, we'll make fun of you relentlessly if you don't do the show. So you're going to become a plot point, or you're going to become like an off-screen joke if not. And I wonder how often that worked.
You know, the first season seems to feel like Batman 1966, where every episode you get a celebrity guest star in some form, and obviously it's Mark Wahlberg in that first one. And then do they end on like Val Kilmer as that Sherpa guy?
Weed farmer Sherpa guy that Vinny Chase's like new age yoga girlfriend is like, it's like her ex-boyfriend or something. Yeah, which is that was a big moment. Your girlfriend being like, the only person we could buy weed from is my ex-boyfriend. And then you're like, that'll never happen. Let me call 5 more people. They don't answer. And you're like, let's go buy it from your fucking ex-boyfriend. That was pretty funny.
Man, you're from California. You love weed, don't you? You love weed?
I don't love it anymore, but I consume it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that? How's that? Like, how is it?
I've been smoking it since I was 13 years old.
Nice. So like a high functioning guy?
You be the judge of that.
No. I'm not. That's not what I mean. But it's like that's crazy to me because I heard Jay on the pod as well. Like he said, I can't.
Yeah, once I got on Twitter, everyone was like, I can't smoke weed, and I'm like, really? That's crazy. Like everyone smokes weed out here, and it always has. It's not now. I understand because I think there were a lot of states that had no business having like weed culture, and not weed culture has always been bad. By the way, it's never like. There was never like a golden age of like pot leaf pajamas, you know, or the hat like Johnny Drama buys the weed hat from the Cannabis Club, which I love that episode too. But but I've always liked it, and my brain moves way too fast to even be productive a lot of times, and I don't mean that in like an intellect way. It's just Millennium Falcon stars going by me, and I can't get anything done. So it kind of just slows me down. Now that being said, I don't really use it before like recording or anything like that, but it's more of a nighttime activity for me. But I've always when I got on like Twitter and podcast, people were like, I smoked weed once, and I'm like, I was in the insane asylum for a month. I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck are you like? Yeah, they're like, anyways, my script of Adderall is fucking 9 million milligrams that I take a day. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that agrees with you. Yeah.
That's the Sid Barrett thing as well. Like if you're already twisted in the head and then you add something to it, of course it's going to bubble up and kill you.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the thing. If you're already demented, then you're not going to get out of there with. I don't know. It's just interesting to not related to Entourage. I'm just interested in that.
No, I think there's an interesting observation there. It seems like maybe this is a New York thing. I know way more people who use coke than smoke weed casually, which. That's why you're gonna die. You're gonna get.
I saw a prominent right wing poster, like a prominent like a capital B based guy say, and I know where this guy is from. He said, "Wow, the weed smell in New York is disgusting." I said, is that even top 5 bad New York smells? And by the way, this person's from Northern California. By the way, I'm like, there's no way that was your first time smelling weed. Like or the wafts from the window, and you might not like the smell of weed, but I'm like, there's like, if it's over 75 degrees in New York, I heard it smells like garbage.
Yeah, you get garbage, you get piss, you get weed. I mean, it's just a new flavor to the equation. It's really not the worst of it. I can't say I'm personally a fan of it, but I'm not put off by it either.
No, but there is. I can't smoke the way I used to though. Like, and the stuff is truly like insane medical strong now. Whereas in the past, like I used to be able to wake up and just literally go to work, do everything with weed hat, like cigarettes, consuming it that way. Now it's, if I were to wake up and do whatever, take an edible or something like that, I might watch season 5 of Entourage, but that's the major key is when you make like the thing that you do, like, well, I'm going to watch a TV show and talk about it. You're like, well, I guess I could make that part of it. But it's definitely, I'm fucking mid-30s now. It's definitely can't do it the way that I used to, and nor should I. So
I think the last time I smoked weed, Entourage was on the air. So it's been a while. I've been out. Maybe I'd love it now. I probably won't find out.
I wouldn't try it now. Don't do it now. Yeah, you left at the right time if it wasn't for you. Yeah, because now they have like now it's like Reddit. So like you have like Redditors that make weed now, and they're like, now we combined 18 different plants and made this one, and
the ghost pepper of weed. You know that's a
this is Carolina Reaper piss kush. Yeah. It's they have that. It's true. That stuff is crazy. But yeah. Anywho, shall we move to season 2? Talk a little season 2. I feel like that's a much more exciting season. I gotta admit, I forget what happens when. So
me too. So let me just don't stop the show for this, obviously, Opie and Anthony. But I really want to get the I want to get the episode list up so I can see sort of. But keep going.
I don't know. I don't know that we need to be that rigid. But yeah,
I'm actually the first result, by the way, is episode list Severance. So that's Cold Harbor. Go ahead. Sorry.
Are you on Apple devices? Because you can't do anything without seeing Severance on an Apple device.
Well, we get a lot of big staple characters in season 2. You do get Lloyd, you get Sloane, you get the Malcolm McDowell character.
Amazing.
You start to build the 3-dimensional nature of this Entourage universe, really.
Yeah, you get Beverly D'Angelo.
That's right. Yeah.
That's nice. I love that a lot. I love the
Gary
Agent
Busey.
Wars. You do get.
Multiple
Busey
Busey appearances.
I wasn't season 1 when when Turtle knocks over the fucking thing. I wonder. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
You're right.
That was cool. That was but he comes in later too, I think.
Yeah, no, he returns. Maybe it's the season finale or penultimate episode of season 1 where he's at the beach and he's just like abusing Turtle.
Yeah, it dumps the.
It's clearly what just Busey wanted to do that day.
Remember, I'm with Busey on.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny back then when you would be like, "Hey, this guy's this fucking schizo with like brain damage. Let's just like literally." Like Sam Hyde's the only one that does that now, but like everybody, like back then, that was like we have a show that'll last for a decade. If you put, or however long that lasted. I think it lasted longer than it should have. But yeah, they had a show called I'm with Busey when he was like, anyways, I had a motorcycle accident. Fucking banged my head.
That's another great thing about the early aughts that's kind of forgotten is they would just grab whatever mentally ill celebrity and then you'd have a show. They did that with Ozzy. They did that with Anna Nicole. All huge successes.
They would just take like black people and put them in the Hollywood Hills, like 3-6 Mafia, the stuff like that. It was Adventures in Hollywood, great show, and and it was kind of like a postmodern thing where we're like, reality TV is going on, and we'll just do Surreal Life, Celebrity Rehab, which are all great shows in my opinion.
2 Corys, that's a masterpiece.
Oh, Heyman Feldman.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Also, same network as Wahlburgers. It might have been on at the same time.
What time? What network was that?
That was A&E.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I wish that was Spike TV, but I guess not. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, remember when, guys, millennials. That was definitely great. But I love the introduction to Sloane because it takes my guy E. He gets all goo goo gaga over her. He's not the he loses all his bite, he doesn't have the bite. He's not the tough guy anymore.
Is he ever tough?
Yeah, he puts a hard line a lot of times. That's what I like about Ease. He's a good middleman because Vinny will agree to a lot of stuff, but he knows what Vinny doesn't actually want to do because he's known him forever. So he'll go, man, fuck that guy, E. When they want to buy when you go to season 4 and they want to buy Medellin, only guy that thinks that's a good idea is E, and he kind of doesn't, but he knows it's what Vinny wants to do. So that's why he has a little bit of it, and he tries to strong arm Ari a little bit because he wants to be the manager and stuff. He has a little bite to him.
He right hooks Billy Walsh as well. I forget about that as well. He just assaults him.
Yeah, dude. He picks his battles well. I'll say that much. Like he's a character that punches in his weight class, which he's pretty small, but in terms of like guys that could kick your ass or something, it's not like again Chuck Liddell in the kind of punked spoof episode. But yeah, that was season 2 is great because I love Malcolm McDowell because at first I thought it was what's that guy's name? Udo Kier.
Terrence Stamp, Malcolm
I thought
McDowell,
it was him. I
was
like, damn, Udo Kier's an Entourage, and I was like, no, never mind. He made a face that looked like fucking Alex from Clockwork Orange. I was like, oh shit, never mind. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, those are all great. His like hunting, his little hunting stuff. The painting too, the fake paintings in Ari's office. I love that one where he has to give the real one away after a while. Ari's marriage counseling stuff is some of my all-time favorite stuff. I think that I don't know if that's in season 1 at all, but I know in season 2 and 3 that becomes a big thing is the marriage counseling thing. So what are your guys' favorite moments from that time?
Oh, I kept going back to, it's kind of a gimmick episode, but I really liked where they went to the Playboy Mansion and
That's a
they
good one.
created this little, frenemy relationship with Ralph Macchio,
That's
who's,
right.
who's now back in movie theaters with Jackie Chan.
Karate Kid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a fun episode.
I just watched a great Ralph Macchio movie the other day. It was called Crossroads. You guys ever seen Crossroads?
The Britney Spears movie?
No, that's what I thought when it was suggested to me, but no, he's a blues guitarist that has to shred guitar to get a blues harmonica guy's
And he's Britney Spears' rival in Crossroads. They're having a singing competition.
no, he fucks Britney Spears in Crossroads.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Wasn't she like 16 and he was 30?
No, it's a Walter Hill movie. This Crossroads thing is
Oh, wow,
from
okay.
1986, a Walter Hill movie. It's actually pretty damn good. I expected it to be like really hokey, and it is, but it's like it's tastefully in that way. But yeah, he is back. Apparently, I saw him when I went to the movies yesterday. I saw a big picture of Ralph Macchio. I was like, I almost had a seizure. It was crazy.
They shot that movie in my old school, my primary school. Like
Crossroads.
No. No.
The new Karate Kid.
the new
Karate Kid.
Gotcha.
The post
Jackie Chan.
post Jaden, yeah, and that pisses me off because I was talking with the school to shoot there, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna put you in touch. We're gonna put you in touch with our guy, and the guy never responded to me. And then I see this movie and they shot Karate Kid, which is
Who
like,
do you think you are, Jackie Chan, dude?
no, but it really sucks to see
I know,
institutions of higher learning, primary.
I'm an alum.
school.
I'm a fucking alum, dude.
Yeah, I literally said that. I was like, yeah, I
You
was.
had to Ari Gold it. When Ari Gold's trying to get his kid into that school,
Yeah.
right? That's how you had to treat that situation. You had to fucking
Find
really...
the principal's home
Yeah.
and say, please, I'm begging you. Yeah. No, it just sucks to see a higher institution of learning like that bend for the money, bend for the big business right there.
Right.
I think that sort of sucks. And then they say in the trailer, like, hey, you're in New York now, you're in America. And then they shoot this in the Montreal school. It's such a phony poser little
That's
piece
such
of
a
shit movie.
classic movie thing. Canada
Yeah.
for New York. Oh, love it, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And I think maybe my favorite episode I've seen so far. It's stupid and hokey, but I had my reasons for loving it. Is the NerdCon convention?
Oh, yeah.
for Viking Quest, where it's the only. I like it when Johnny Drama gets to actually. Where he's actually right about how famous he is in a certain times. And it happens twice so far, where when they go to Cannes and he's France, Viking Quest is huge.
Which is my favorite episode of the show, I'm pretty sure.
It's pretty great. And then, but then this one where you have Rainn Wilson, the evil comic blogger, where Rainn Wilson at the time was an HBO alum. He was in 6 Feet Under, I believe. And it's so good because Mandy Moore and Vinny Chase had a thing, and there's a whole relationship thing, and Vinny gets knocked off his cool guy stuff for a little bit because of Mandy Moore, which, dude, come on.
If I remember right, I feel like this is ripped from reality because there was a whole controversy with Ain't It Cool News, which was like the premium nerd blog media press site online during that time. And they had the ability to kind of like make or break the narrative on certain films. And, you're watching this in 2025, and it would seem like, something we didn't really get into is Vinny has a resistance against playing Aquaman. And I feel like in 2025, if you get offered any of these movies, you're taking that without question just because the dump truck of money is going to back up to your house.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a lot more opportunities. I mean,
you're
DC,
taking Matterhorn too. You're accepting Matterhorn too.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, DC, you're a clearly artistic integrity first guy, but surely if they came to you and said, hey, we want you for Doctor Strange 3, surely we're getting the DC directed Doctor Strange 3, right?
It can't be worse than Universal Madness, so let's do it. Yeah, let's.
Okay, there you go. So
I love
multiverse.
Yes, Vinny Chase. He's like, I don't want to wear a costume. What is it, Halloween?
Yeah,
I'm not going to dress as Aquaman.
And he's not jacked either. It was really funny to see, like, because he's really not jacked at all.
Or athletic, by the way.
Yeah,
athletic.
No, his like movement is not like a star in any way. I mean, he's got the face, obviously, but it's funny to see what like a star was back then, as opposed to now, where you're just like you see like The Rock playing what's his name, Mark Henry, or what's the guy's name? The fighter. Yeah. Like I just mean to be a star now, you have to just be like. Tom Hardy got fucking swole for Bane and like all this, and Vinny Chase is like, nah, it's fine to play Aquaman like that. I kind of miss that when you just had a guy.
It's a different world. I mean, you look at the superhero movies of the time. What'd you have? Like Spider-Man, obviously.
And Spider-Man's really the only one that was successful during that time, aside from the X-Men movies. So there's like a reason to not be completely on board.
Yeah.
And you have Hugh Jackman. You have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, who eventually for Logan, I think got jacked, but he didn't look that. I could be wrong. The first X-Men, he doesn't look that jacked.
No,
right?
he doesn't look jacked at all.
Yeah.
In fact, he looks kind of soy. He's just a small guy with like heavy
He is
sideburns.
toy. Yeah.
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 But yeah,
You know which movie I used to love, that the one where he goes to Japan? That was such a sick movie.
what is that?
The Wolverine one?
I think it's called The Wolverine, just Wolverine, something like that. It's one of the reboots where it's just about Wolverine and he goes to Japan. It's so sick.
Oh, I've only seen Logan.
So before Logan, I think it was the same director. They thought that was going to be that movie. It was going to be like an adaptation of some comic, and then to like make up for that, because it wasn't critically well received, they're like, "All right, we're going to do Logan. Don't worry, calm down, relax."
Yeah.
But what I loved about the Viking Quest convention episode was seeing actual nerds. Not now everybody's a nerd. Literally anybody that takes any interest in anything is either autistic and or a nerd. So it's just kind of this, everybody loves Marvel now. Everybody loves that. There's not really, everybody has a niche hobby, I guess is what I mean. But seeing like an actual just goober, I think back then, like a goober, I think is the word I would use. And you're just like, wow, that's actually refreshing to see, instead of now like where you just see like a jacked dude in like a Flash shirt and you're just like, nah, dude.
You see that?
on.
I
Yes,
don't see it. It's such posturing. I don't believe it. Every fan of Marvel is Mexican.
Well, sometimes it's a jacked Mexican. I don't know what to tell you.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's what I'm saying. But I'm sorry. It's not even a racial thing. But you know, Eris.
Oh, it's a
Quiñones?
racial thing. It's all right though. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But Eris Quiñones. You know Eris Quiñones?
No.
Such a terrible person to bring up, but that to me is the typical Marvel fan. He's like the guy who's like, he'll watch any trailer from Marvel or DC and he's gonna be like, this is so exciting, you know, like this is the best thing I've seen. And then he does videos on his YouTube channel, which has like millions of followers, where it's like the secret backstory of Zam Zabur, the background character in the Daredevil trailer, and it's about the comics. I don't know. To me, that is the nerd. That is the person who really cares about that stuff to a degree where it becomes religious. It's not even about what the thing is anymore. It's about the principle of having comic book characters, and he loves it so much. That's a nerd.
Well, and I think during COVID, a lot of people just got niche hobbies. Like I know people who got into Marvel because it was on Disney Plus and it was accessible and they had nothing to do but watch every Marvel movie. There were accompanying podcast media that would talk about it. And then they would, people would emerge out of their hideout and they would be like, I'd be like, you're a Marvel fan now? They're like, I always have been, actually. And you're like, no, I know exactly how you got into it. Like, it's fine to admit that. It's totally fine to admit that. I just laugh because you look at these people and you're like, I remember when people used to watch like Battlestar Galactica, like actual nerd shows. Whereas on my baseball team, if I said I watched Battlestar Galactica, people would be like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Whereas I don't think that's the case now. You'll see like NFL players are like, I love One Piece. And you're just like, no fucking way. Like, there's just no way. So it was nice to see like what you saw as like an actual nerd, like the school at your nerd with the wolf t-shirt, like the howling, like the wolf howling at the moon, which now that's an ironic, like, fashion thing in its own, where I was like, man, that's exactly how it used to be. We actually, I hate to say it was like a segregated society. You had nerds and all that stuff, and they didn't try to fit in with cool kids. They're just like, no, I'll hang out with the other nerds.
Oh, it's a mutual aberration society. Okay, they really hate each other. They really despise. It's not like the nerds want to be. Of course, maybe in their head they want to be cool, but it's never just the cool kids hating the nerds. The nerds think the cool kids are dumb and jocks and stupid and wash their hair with mud. You know.
I used to walk by this school all the time, and I don't know if you had this, Lowres, since we're about the same age, like where you walk by and you see all the kids playing Counter-Strike in the room. Did you ever have that, like a computer room? We had a computer room where kids at lunch, I think the teacher was just cool, and they were all playing Counter-Strike. They didn't say a fucking word. They'd get out of the class. I didn't know any of those kids' names or anything. You'd have to look in the yearbook when the year came out. But they all had that like community of like Counter-Strike kind of, and this is before FPS was like a huge thing, where everyone played Call of Duty Black Ops. These kids would play this all the time. And you're like, that was a friend group. I don't know if they even talked to each other ever or anything, but it was like, they wouldn't let me in if I tried.
So my school didn't have that because all the computers were barred from having any sort of game except for what was like the generic one that was like a purple background, and every single computer had it baked in on it, like Minesweep style gaming.
Right.
You know, but there was a collective of kids at my school who after school were professional Super Smash Brothers players. And they were like the really stinky kids. You know, and one was particularly successful. He's like, I got hundreds of millions of dollars now. Moved to San Francisco like right after high school.
You off air, you have to tell me. I'll go fucking find him and beat his ass.
I'll give you his name. I'll give you his name.
I just go fight him for no reason.
But that was basically the version that existed in my sphere of things. You know.
Yeah, that's 40 miles. That's 40 miles from me, dude. That's nothing. Yeah.
From the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix with that red candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, can't do that shit.
I grew up in the liberal Canadian education system, so we had computers, a ton of them, and all of them had one game called Machinium. If you know Machinium, it's the lamest game of all time. You're like a robot. It's a point-and-click game. You have to solve clues, and I was a gamer at the time. I was Mortal Kombating every night, but I could not play that game. It sucks so bad. Look up if you're listening to this show. Check out Machinium.
Guarantee you, we have a lot of Canadian listeners. I guarantee you, they're
sucks dick, dude. I hate Machinium so fucking because you're this like goofy ass robot. It's like Wall-E before Wall-E, and then you have to click to open bridges and like it's like a steampunk 2 as well. So it's like you're doing like steam turbine puzzles. I hate it so much, man.
Was it like a little autism thing? Like was it kind of like a geared for the autistic brain?
No, social programming, bro. Everybody had to play Machinium. It was the one thing we had on the computer.
Yeah, because I don't know what it was. We had it wasn't even IMAX or anything. They were like regular old like PCs or whatever, but kids were in there, and I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like post Columbine, they're letting kids play like fucking shooting games. And the kids kind of looked like they would do something like that.
So they were white kids. Okay, this is the difference. Is all
they were Asian. They were Asians.
There were a lot of Asians too.
Yeah.
50, almost like 50% of the city that I went to high school in was Asian, which is why there was a big Nintendo bend. I would assume.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
In high school, there was League of Legends. That's also a big in Japan.
Wasn't that like 4 years ago?
No. Is this another risk on my youth?
That's when he was in.
High school is far behind. Okay, it's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah,
you see these scars. Yeah.
There you go. The Mandy Moore thing, I was glad when that was over. I was get her off my fucking screen, dude.
Yeah,
sorry, I was done with her.
Just ignore me, actress, man. I don't want to see that. I want to see the crazies. I want to see the female agent, Luca Guadagnino. What's her name? What's her fucking name?
Is Beverly D'Angelo?
Carla Gugino.
Oh,
Carla. Yeah. Her. That's twist. That's a great character. Mamma mia.
Agree. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, that was very worthy of bringing up. That was nice. But yeah, that in season 2, there's I'm trying to think what there's not because these are short because season 3 is the big one. Season 3 is why is it 20 episodes? I don't know. I'm not arguing with it. I just like that's a weird for one season to have 20 episodes.
This was 2006, right? And I believe there was like a year break in between. Was there not?
It seems like there's a stopping point for sure in the season.
I feel like
did they Sopranos it where because I heard HBO used to do a thing where if you called it another season, they didn't have to pay a bonus for the actors for getting renewed. So
interesting.
Yeah,
it could be that.
I learned that from the David Chase documentary. They were talking about that. They said basically the reason Sopranos season I think 6 is 2 parts. It's really 2 seasons. It was filmed as though it was another season, time off and everything. But the HBO is notoriously cheap, especially back then. I don't know if they still are, but they were notoriously cheap. So maybe they did something like that where they're like, this show's getting big. Let's see if we can skim a little off the top.
Depending on what year it was, there was a writer's strike that occurred sometime around then. And I don't know if that would be the reason why, but a lot of shows had a pause or they would have to like double up on I remember with CBS in particular, you tuned in and suddenly they were playing Dexter, which is not a CBS show. They were playing like a PG version of Dexter that was edited for primetime television, and it could be something like that. I'm not certain why. Maybe it just also got a huge bump in viewership. I don't know what the gap would have been.
Yeah, like I said, that was probably around the same time as Sopranos ending. So maybe that was just what HBO was doing that year. Was just around that. Yeah, that's interesting. So that but it's I think it's awesome. The season 3. It's just we get Billy Walsh. We get Billy Walsh. He's back. I mean, you miss him so much by the time you're like, is he just not going to come back? I was like so bummed But the way you were talking about him in the chat, I was like, he has to come back at some point.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you were just excited about him for like one episode. Because I got excited about the Chinese energy drink commercial guy from a while back, and I was like, that's Lowres. He's the Chinese energy drink commercial guy.
Yeah, we didn't say who he was. Who do you think he is? Who's Jay?
He's Ari. He's like an Ari Gold, I think. Like hybrid. You're a hybrid character because
listen. I'll tell you, on a project that DC and I worked on, there were a lot of phone calls where I was definitely channeling Ari Gold. You know, so I could feel that.
I know that mass hole can just come at you at some point. You know, like it's not there all the time, but I bet somebody could bring it out.
No, it's deeply suppressed. You know, but it is ready to come out.
DC bring it out of you?
No. DC's a dream.
Of course he is.
Dream boat. Handsome guy.
All those years playing Machinium, really.
I'm getting fatter every day, brothers. You don't even understand. I thought I was lean. Then I saw a picture of myself. I'm like, what the hell is...
You're not allowed to fish for compliments on Rare.
No. But brother. This is getting nasty. I'm buying nut butter. You know nut butter?
Yes. Did I tell you I've been smoking pot since I was fucking 13? Of course I know what nut butter. I can eat a whole jar. I probably have.
Of what? Of which one?
Name it.
Okay, that's the thing, because peanut butter. Obviously, everybody knows about peanut butter except the French. But then
we do, yeah.
Yeah. But then there's this pistachio flavored, and this is not a sponsorship or whatever. It's just so delicious. It's like pistachio peanut butter, but it's with pistachios instead of peanuts. Glenn, focus, please, when I'm talking about nut butter.
No, he's trying to order some right now. He's very excited.
I had to get some information. I do know about nut. I do know about. So you're eating entire jars of nut butter? Is that what?
I mean, they're small, but yeah.
He's eating Dubai chocolate.
You're like Cy. That's what Cy does. He's like, dude, I am losing it. I had fucking 4 kettle chips the other day. I'm like, fuck up.
But Cy's actually obese. It's different. I think it's not the same.
You don't know anything about him, dude.
But on the video. Maybe the camera.
I weigh more than him. I do. I weigh more.
Same height.
I'm a little tall, smidge taller. Yeah,
yeah.
I have a wide build. So I can. When I get fat, it's Vince Vaughn.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's actually
that's a good fat.
Actually, it's exactly it kind of distributes evenly. You know, so because I my biggest I got to 215 at my biggest. And I mean, I don't think anybody cares about this, but I got maybe they do actually, but I got like to 215, and I looked, and it took one picture where I was like this, and I was like, fuck, and that's how I saw it. But if I had a big protruding gut, then I would have lost it way earlier.
Yeah. That's always the tipping point, I feel, is like you take a picture of yourself and then a week or 2 later you check it out and you look like a fat piece of shit. And it's like, I hate myself so much. I get a star.
Being tagged in it's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Jay knows about this. Jay,
I know. I got scolded for this
it's not scolded. It's just like you take a man. You
said, why did you post those fat, ugly photos of me, you fucking asshole?
Because look, at least get me from this high profile. Like Johnny Drama, I have a good side. If you do the full profile thing, it's just going to be a wretched, a wretched, disgusting picture there.
I don't think they were that bad. It was how the iPhone does the distort on the sides when it's a wide enough picture. That's really
I was dead center. I was dead center on the picture there. That's not real. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. It's good.
You were very short in the Ralph Seppi Jr. group photo. Well, strangely, all this
that was like a Joe Biden meeting the Carters thing, right? That was not. That was not. That's okay. That's cool. Sort of.
Fucking that David Lynch ass picture. Like I don't know. That's such a weird picture. Yeah, that's the weirdest fucking picture. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But, it kind of sounds like DC. You're trying to embrace your turtle here if you're eating a lot of nut butter.
No, and that's the thing as well. Like Turtle to me, he got lean, by the way, and he didn't get cool.
Oh, by the way, yeah, I was looking at the movie interviews. He aged the best out of any of the 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I think Adrian Grenier looks pretty fucking good.
Well, yeah, of course, but he had going for him to begin with. It's not as impressive.
True. Yeah, he could never be like. He would have to do like Mickey Rourke shit to like be ugly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that would make sense.
He's also the type of look. This is parasocial. I don't know this, but he seems to me the type of celebrity that doesn't drink or doesn't do anything. But I don't know why.
He said he had substance abuse.
Oh yeah. Good stuff. And childhood drama too. I'm assuming, right? Like,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
but he would never. It was funny, like, because they asked him on that victory. I think it's Doug Ellin was hosting it, and he was like, "So yeah, like, where you been and stuff?" And he's like, "Well, I really had to just get off the grid for a little bit, and I really and I had these demons." And they're like, "Oh yeah," and they're like trying to be polite, like not ask him what the demons are, but he keeps bringing up the demons.
Yeah.
But demons, and
He
they're
means
like
literal demons.
Yeah, I know. And he's like, "What are they?" And he goes, "Oh, massive substance abuse." And then he's like, it was like cool guy no fap, where it's like I was just having sex a lot and busting too much, like as opposed to like why you would actually need to do no fap. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty funny. It cracked me up. But anyways, yeah, Turtle looks good when you see him now. I think. I mean, look, he's kind of like when he's like about to fuck Lauren London in the black mechanic's daughter or whatever, like when he's like about to you're just like, get out of here, dude, you're not that funny, like, you know, like
that's the thing as well. Every time they imply that Turtle gets laid, which is very funny to me because he's not charming, and even his closeness, the girl who's there in the context, right, is already close to Vince. Turtle can no longer provide any service whatsoever, but for some reason, like, oh come on, he always does this, and it works out, which is so unrealistic in this show.
Here's what I'll say. I won't throw the baby out with the bathwater here because I feel like during that time period, I certainly knew a lot of wiggers who were pretty similar to Turtle.
Yeah.
And listen, they weren't knocking out the top bar like maybe he is for some episodes, but they would do pretty well for themselves without much of anything to offer. So I don't know. It wasn't too detached from reality.
And that tall tee shit used to really hide a lot. Like it was kind of our yoga pants for guys back in the day. Like it was kind of one of those, like no one knew what fat guys were for like 5 years.
Yeah,
because you'd see like your friend, like you'd go to like Vegas or whatever, and you'd hit like the pools and stuff, and you'd be like, holy shit, my friend's been fat this whole fucking time. This is crazy.
They would all wear this, but 3XL.
Yeah, dude, 3XL. You never really see that when you're young. You don't get the neck thing like when you're that's like when you start getting older. So like the kind of fat that you get is like there you can grow a beard too. Like there's all sorts of ways around that neck fat thing. So but Turtle legit looks fat when he's wearing the catcher in season 1. He's wearing the catcher's thing and the dog bites him. It's very slapstick and silly. It's kind of dumb to be honest.
I mean, really, all he had to do was drop about 30 pounds and then take the hat off, so his head has like more.
He's a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy, like in the way, like he's better looking than Kevin Dillon.
I'll agree.
Matt Dillon, it's rough because like Matt Dillon's the like Chad guy, out of the family, and I'm pro Johnny Drama, but now I could see myself becoming anti Johnny Drama after
get a few watches and a few months and moments, and then
well, this is only part 1 of the Entourage saga that's gonna.
We're doing 10, and we're doing 10.
We're doing Korean. I want to do Korean Entourage. I really do.
Oh, we have to do Ari. We have to do Ari the movie.
Ari the movie?
Is that the goods? The used car salesman comedy?
It's on Doug Ellen's IMDb. Ari the movie.
Ari the movie?
I'm just saying. I don't know if it exists or not. It's just there. It's on his thing.
We have to track down Doug Ellen and get a copy of that right now.
There's an Ari Gold like movie apparently. I have no idea if it's real. I just when you Google Doug Ellen, like what he's done, because I look and it's all these like how high tier like black people comedies, which I thought was funny. I was like, that's crazy that Doug Ellen's writing these. And then,
Doug Ellen's down with the culture. Let's say that.
Sure. Season 3. You're right, because season 3 or season 4 of Entourage is when all the rappers come in. Kanye, and you have Mary J. Blige. You have all those people that come in, and Snoop, of course.
And the soundtrack. Snoop is a big topic here, but definitely even the soundtrack. I mean, you got Jay-Z on the soundtrack. Yes. You have others as well.
Oh, one of my favorite moments, and I think it's from season 3. One of my favorite moments, because it was a literally me moment. Unfortunately, it's Turtle that was literally me in this situation. But he's just smoking weed by himself in a room, and Jay Dilla's Won't Do is playing in the background. And I'm like, I literally did that in 2007. Like by myself, not in a nice. He's in a much nicer room than I was, but I was in one of those weird, like busted leather Craigslist couch fucking houses doing that. Slatted blinds and stuff. Yeah, I mean, a little different, but it was literally me. So is
there a share screen option in this app?
I don't know if you have access.
Present. I think it's present screen.
Oh, can you do that? Okay, yeah. If you can, because I think there's a. I don't think you're getting that. Oh, I see. I have to add it.
All right, here we go.
Dude.
Ramble on.
this looks like it's like AI before AI. It's like ChatGPT 1.
That's
You know,
Charlie
like
Is that
it's
Joe Estevez?
I don't know which one it is. I don't think it's the On Cinema guy, but that's the thing. It's The Weeknd. There's The Weeknd on there.
Uh-huh.
The basically, yeah, Mark Cuban as well.
Oh, of
What-
course. Yeah.
Sorry, they just did what a crazy cast here. They have the guys from Entourage and then Charlie Sheen called
Charlie
Ramble
Sheen's
On.
big floating head.
That looks like a reality show that's about to happen.
Coming soon, 2022. it's on IMDb, so I'm assuming.
Oh, sorry. Did you still want the IMDb? Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Just I mean, look at is this real?
Oh,
Did
is
this
that
happen?
his podcast?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's the podcast.
No.
Well, maybe
you don't
not.
get the headphones.
No, he's
that-
got the headphone. Yeah, he's got the headphones. You're right.
Yeah.
That's Jamie Lynn Siegler.
Yep.
Oh, you haven't gotten there yet? That's a big thing in Entourage as well. She has a major role in
Oh,
Entourage.
does she? Oh, good.
Doug Ellin has a cameo in Entourage when Johnny Drama's performing for the CSI
Yes.
spinoff, right?
Yes. That's a great scene. Also, his son, I believe, is the Ari's kid, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah, that's Doug Ellen's son. I'm captivated. This is a movie. This is not a podcast. Am I not sharing anymore?
I don't. No, you are. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck this is.
It's
It's like the end of Sopranos when you think Tony's gonna die.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
that's
the
what that looks
painting where you have like the Godfather, Tony Soprano,
Yeah,
Scarface.
Yeah, Michael Corleone, Tony Soprano, and Tony Al Pacino twice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's excellent. Thanks for the
That's
fight. But
insane.
Can you check on if there's an Ari Gold movie? I thought I saw that. I thought like I was gonna add this to our watch list at some point.
For sure, but look at it's shot on film. That's insane.
Of course it is.
That's crazy. Why?
Dude, how much dumb ass money went into this?
That's my thing as well. Of course, I was born in the wrong generation and everything, but I can't fathom the resources that went into Entourage, especially with how undoable it is. And I don't want to just repeat that stuff. Like, of course, yeah, we know it's from the past, but the money, the resources, the effort it takes to make a whole show like this go for so long is really baffling.
I just think people had more patience, man. Like I just think people had more patience and thought like I don't know about the budget. I have a feeling Mark Wahlberg put a lot of his own money into this shit too.
Yeah,
Don't
but
you
even that, I mean, just a song, like if you tried licensing songs for whatever you're doing,
but it wasn't hard back then. It wasn't as hard back then to license songs. I don't think,
especially for HBO, probably. Yeah,
yeah. But Sopranos. At the end of all these shows, they all have like fucking like Tina Turner and like all these like massive songs. Like I think now it's weird. You can like get any song on a streaming service, but you cannot play it anywhere. But whereas back then they were pissed off about all the downloading services back then, but you could like play it in public because you could use it. They had an AirPlay. I know with radio, that's how like radio gets away with everything is like there's a public AirPlay thing that happens. And I'm sure that's what was, I'm sure they're paying money, of course, for these songs. But yeah, they played Monkey Man by Rolling Stones, which is massive in Entourage. Like, it's like, what? Like, it's like the Scorsese was using that for like Departed, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, music licensing, and DC, maybe you can attest this, is one of the more confusing aspects of working on a movie because you have to jump through like sometimes a few different people when it comes to wanting to get a song and be able to use it and make sure it's all clear for, you want to theatrically screen it, you want to stream it, whatever. With HBO, obviously they're Warner Brothers, the Warner Brother Archive of Music, like they have their own label. I'm sure that they just have all these songs at their disposal, so that's probably a big element of it. And as far as, what you said now, music licensing is kind of in an interesting place because there are these services where you don't have to like go directly to anybody. And it's like, you want to clear this track for your YouTube release, you can do it for $30 or $80 or whatever it might be. But then it stays on YouTube, it's like, you're good for YouTube. You got the best, most banging Entourage style soundtrack for YouTube.
Damn.
This is going to be super autistic and no one cares about this, but which song was that for? Because that's not the experience I've had at all.
Well, I was trying to get a song from David Johansen called New York Doll for Mass State Lottery that he did not remember doing.
He just died, didn't he?
Yes, he did. So his band was the New York Dolls. But he did this song called New York Doll as himself. And it was featured on the soundtrack. I don't even think it was actually on the soundtrack to Fear City. It was in some of the trailers to Fear City, this Abel Ferrara movie, which I believe Warner Brothers put out. It was kind of a flop, but it was like the one time he worked in the industry, and in like a bigger capacity. And I
Mhm.
love this song. I thought like the song is terrific. And I had to go through him, and then I had to go through Joe D'Elia, who wrote the song and actually had the rights to the song. And it was this complicated process where it just didn't wind up resolving itself. I was like, I can't use the song,
Yeah.
you know?
No, because I assume it's different if you actually get in touch with the artist. What I've done so far is that every time I talk to the artist, then it's pretty easy. We can get all that stuff done. Or if the person who owns the rights at the label is very nice and willing to work with, like our type of budgets. But man, the most odd people, and I know, Jay, you have the Molchadoma story. That's a classic. I have a few as well. The oddest bands sometimes are asking for crazy stuff, for crazy amounts of money, whereas more famous ones will just be chill and help you out and work something out. Even if it doesn't work, at least you have their information for later on. But one that surprised me as well, especially in the circles that were not in, but like around. It was nuts. It was crazy just how much a smaller artist is asking for money for a festival license.
It helps that
Anyways,
there's not a lot, especially if you want rock, though. There's just not that many new rock bands. That's what sucks. Like, it's like you think, like, that's the problem is that you have to. I'm talking rock, though, like
dude,
just regular old rock.
I understand, but you're gonna see an uptick in the Orwell's features in independent cinema for at least 10 years, man. Because Mario, I don't want to put this out there because there's already some pretty bad stuff being made. But I'm telling you, like he's too generous with that catalog, I think.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's excellent. I mean, it's excellent music, at least. Yeah. But no, you're right. Like, it's just like when it's like, damn, I'd really love like a rock band. You're like, okay, 1977. Let me look for this song. It's like nobody's doing that right now. Whereas, fucking during Entourage, it'd be cold hard bitch, and then it's on the lip. And now it's on my You had the new Jet song that you could use. It was also featured in the iPhone commercial or whatever. Like, it was such a maximalist time. And I mean, you think if there's lawyers, legal, all this stuff now, there was that back then, but which felt like it was a lot, but there's much less back then. I think I don't know. I think there was a lot of favors that were done back then.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm telling you, it's two different games basically. Like no one cares about this, but you get to the personal sort of. We only have to deal with the paperwork when you talk to the artist. That's one thing, and then you get as the like, oh, hello, big corporation. I'm this small guy who's not going to pay you as much as fucking Arby's, but this is real art. And then you have to.
If you ever want to take a chance on a kid's dream, you'll let me use the Arctic Monkey song, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
If you ever want to watch some slow cinema and you think that
Dude, Billy Walsh,
expand your horizons a bit.
I love it.
So funny.
Yeah.
But,
oh my gosh. Let's get back to season 3, guys, because I love season 3. I love season 3 a lot. It's really is when I found the show to be entertaining and fun, and I was excited to talk about. But like, man, these the whole gosh, what's the one I love? I love the Vegas episode a lot. I like a lot of their gimmicky episodes, like when they take the show elsewhere. I think it works more than most shows. I think they're able, and again, you just love the friend group, so it doesn't matter the venue. In fact, the venue can spice things up a little bit. But my guy Bob Ryan, can we talk about my guy Bob Ryan, the fucking old school old guard guy is he writing the Ramones movie? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I love him, dude.
Yeah.
I love him when they try to stiff him out of the meeting and try to ice him out of the meeting, and he shows up in the old car and stuff. I absolutely loved him. I thought he was going to be a very annoying character, but again, they're so good at like not overloading you with people and just leaning on the friend group in here. I think that's the show could have been bad so many times.
Yeah. That's a different thing, but just about that specifically, there's a very sad thing that happens when 20th century figures don't die around 2005 to 2010. Like people from that era in 2016 or whatever are so sad and so depressed and so incapable of like getting with the times, not in a political sense, but just in the way anything works, that they just become sad, and people are just like, oh, you produced Dog Day Afternoon, that's so cute, yeah, I love that movie, that sort of attitude where you're almost,
and you know what, and guess what, I think that's impressive, and guess who's excited about Bob Ryan? Me. So that's funny about that. Like, that's what I found really funny. I'm like, I love Bob Ryan, he's so fucking cool, man, and he's the only guy who's like, nah, man. Yeah, I think it was it Dog Day Afternoon? Was that the movie? I think it was.
I'm assuming, yeah.
But it was something big, like a massive
Yeah.
70s classic. I remember it was something like that, and he had all these like other stories, like me and Bob we bare knuckle boxed. Like he had all these like all those like stories that you're like, I don't know if that's true or not, but whatever.
Yeah.
You have the lack of fact checking of that time and the legend of the time. I kind of like that, but yeah, again, it's funny because it's obviously he's a dinosaur. And but it's you know, Vinny has his passion projects, and Vinny becomes a little bit. He doesn't act this way, but he becomes way more particular, I think, during around this time, because he wants Medellin. He never gives up on Medellin, though he probably should have. But he never gives up on Medellin, and he's broke.
Yeah,
like,
so the season starts off with Aquaman, and then it does extremely fantastically well. But then, for some reason, that sort of gets to his head, and he doesn't understand that it's just you're as good as your last hit. That's it.
Right.
You don't get to ride on that forever. It's not writing. You know, it's not like authors. Authors do this, which
Well, yeah, and they shouldn't. That's the thing. They also shouldn't. I get what you mean. It's definitely worse in film, but like they also shouldn't. It's like, dude, keep writing books. Like, and like try to write a hit. And have your folder. I know it probably doesn't work this way because I don't really do stuff like this, but you have your passion stuff. Like, okay, this is my long form thing. This is the baby. This is the thing I'm going to come to. I'm going to take a month off and work at certain times. But like, you have your hits, and they keep telling Vinny this, like, dude, do this bullshit fucking movie. You're going to make and Ari's right. That's the thing. Is like Ari's right most of the movie, right? If you're talking from a practical sense, or I'm sorry, most of the show. From the practical sense, he's like, I'm going to make you rich if you listen to me, for the most part.
Because the truth is behind Entourage, okay, and this is what a lot of people deconstruct the show as this. Oh, it's a postmodern commentary,
No,
but Vinny Chase is actually bad. You know, he sucks. He's a movie star, not a peak actor. That's shown in the show. When Matt Damon asked him to do a read for an advertisement,
we're ahead of where I am, so maybe he.
Yeah, but I posted the link in the chat, so you might have watched it.
Why would I?
Because I sent it as a heartfelt gesture to my friend.
I know. I love that you did it. I'll watch it afterwards after I watch the episode. I mean, I really.
Anyways,
but
you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not supposed to be a good actor. He's just like a guy that does well in movies, and that's the fundamental truth. So someone like that wanting to do their passion projects is like you know, Adrian Brody doing art. It's like whatever, big Sean Penn directing movies. It sucks. You know, it really sucks.
Point.
But
so Vinny is never going to be a De Niro, a Pacino,
exactly.
We know this, right? Because that's what's funny is we don't really ever, like, for the most part, we don't really see him act. I mean, not that would change anything, but like, you don't really always see is. By the way, I do love. We forgot when they recolor Queen. I would have been with you. The time that E and Billy Walsh see eye to eye. Is when they do the color grading, or with the, I don't know what the term, sorry, but when they make Queens Boulevard into like color with you see the blue and they make his eyes blue and stuff. And then E, who's been frustrated with Billy Walsh to the core, just goes, "No, you're fucking right, dude. Like, we got to take this down." I love that. That was such a dude's rock moment because it's like, it was because I guess it would have made it good. I mean, in terms of money, it might have worked. I personally don't think it would have, but you get the idea that would have been a better move for it to make money. But it's like, dude, this is like kind of indie cinema, kind of. It's going to be loved 10 years from now more than it is now. It's like going to be one of these things. So that's interesting. I never really thought of that with Vinny Chase, where you're like, this guy is delusional. But I don't know that he believes in himself to that degree, though. In terms of that, he's a De Niro, that he's a Pacino. Like, I think he kind of doesn't care that much.
No, he seems like somebody who's more in love with the culture of being famous and being an actor than somebody who actually wants to invest in learning how to better that. He's just, you know, and I feel like that really comes across most plainly and most two-dimensionally in the first season, where and a little bit of like early season 2, where he's just kind of rotating these different women around. He's playing it like MC Hammer style by buying these houses he can't afford, getting cars he can't afford. You know, that's really what that's about. And you kind of get the idea a tad when they're talking to his father over the phone, that Kevin Dillon basically went down the same path, but to a much lesser degree of, okay, I'm going to get some money. I'm going to blow all the money. And that's why he's auditioning for CBS procedurals, you know.
True. That's a good point. Yeah. Because I mean, everything seems to be based on something that's happened, or at least a rumor that somebody's heard, or kind of an idea of somebody's like somebody's assessment of what happened in a certain a script, because you hear about all these scripts. Oh, that script's been laying around forever. Oh, that this is Medellin, that's still a thing. Like there's all these like little Hollywood inside things. So you get the idea that most of this stuff has happened. But I didn't even think about it with Kevin Dillon. That's probably true. Because he wasn't Viking Quest. I don't think that's not what he's doing something different. But you're saying Vinny could kind of be doing a little Kevin Dillon.
Yeah. Well, the Johnny drama squandering potential, or at least like financial potential, and having to mooch off of your brother as a result of that.
So should you do the bullshit? I'm asking either you guys personally, like, should you, if you guys, I know you guys right now, you guys are very much in control of what you do, but I know I have a feeling both of you guys want to, like, hey, here's a script I'm sending to you. Here's a script I'm saying, this so-and-so's got a script. Yeah, so-and-so's got a script for you. And you see one that's like, okay, this is bullshit. It might be entertaining bullshit, but like, you should do it, right? Like, would you guys, to make, if you think it's a hit?
DC, you want to start with that one?
Yeah. No, I think, first of all, I really like the hyping up. I really appreciate it, but it's not like I'm getting.
What am I hyping up? I said
because my PO box is not filled with top writers. I said
you're not famous. Yeah, it's all hypothetical. I know that's true.
I know. But what I'm saying is, like, that's not even something that really happens that much anymore. I think it's just such a different landscape.
Well,
I feel like
how does it work then on a mainstream level? Like, what I mean is, if you guys put out a couple features, right, that I'm seeing, that I could see at AMC 14 or whatever over here by my house. Like, I could see these things, right? And then your next move, how do the scripts get to you? I actually don't know this.
But
like,
if you look at people, let's say one generation older, that are slowly starting to make it into a more mainstream room, we think about Eugene Kotyurenko, we think about Sean Baker at a huge scale.
True.
You see these people who they never got that push. It's not like someone's doing them a favor whatsoever. It's that you make a movie and then you make more, and then everything you do yourself. But every time you just take one step further, and eventually, we don't know what the future holds, but eventually they were able to make their way up that way. It wasn't like someone saw Red Rocket and was like, you know what? Let's give him a budget. Like, it was still the same sort of struggle every time. And of course, the scale that he's working at is massive compared to like me. I can't speak for Jay, but like for me, like I spend a fraction of that money. But at the same time, it's like the attitude's the same. The attitude's like, I'm not going to wait for anything. I'm just going to make him, and there is a way to live. It's not just about being poor and making like incomprehensible movies for the rest of your life. You really are trying to make something better every time, but there's nothing you're waiting for. It's just like whatever success comes with it and whatever you can get from it is just that.
So you're saying you don't have the opportunity to do the bullshit?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, okay. I can say I'm very, like, oh no, I would never do that. But like, no one's gonna come to me with an Adidas ad. That's not how
we established. You do Doctor Strange 3. This is a guarantee.
I had such a fantasy when I watched season 4 of Entourage. I told you guys in the chat. I would love to have been like, hey man, I got fucking, how much is the movie called? I got $250 million. And I want this done, and I give it to DC, right? That's what I would do. I would give it to DC, and everyone's like, "Why are you picking that guy?" I'm like, "No, I fucking believe in this kid, dude. I fucking believe in this kid." And I'm like, I'm just some like guy who just got lucky, with his dumb podcast, and it got huge or something. Like I just get, but I want to I want to save movies. That's what I'm picturing this. I'm creating a guy, and I give DC a bunch of money. Lowres will talk, but I give DC the money first.
I was going to say, I hope I get like a fraction at least of what you're planning for DC.
I don't think you're going to like the second half of this story. This is why I'm exempting you of it. So, and then I just hound him to death about it. And I'm just like, it's got to be this way, but I'm like kind of nice guy about it, and I'll be like, let's see what you got. Let's see what you're working on. Just a cut. Let me see that first cut. No, dude. And then you get the classic Billy Walsh driving away on the motorcycle with the fucking thing around his neck, and he's skating away from me and running away from me. I would love that. It's such a fun fan. That's why I wouldn't do it to you, Lowres, because I don't think it would be very funny if I did that to you. It'd be way funnier if I did it to DC, because he would be like, you can't watch the first cut of Doctor Strange 3.
But yeah, it's such an old system. Like, this doesn't happen. Do rich people even like movies anymore? Is that real?
I actually don't know. I'm asking all these genuinely. I have no idea how movies work.
And I'm not even. I'm not like contradicting or whatever. I just feel like, in the 70s, you're like an oil magnet. And it's like, let's do some pictures. Let's watch the movies. But now it does not seem like that's the case. Probably you would do much better as an artist. as like a installation piece type guy, where it's like, oh yes, we have this young talent from the streets of Ethiopia, and that's where the money is now, more than movies. I feel like movies is just like a different thing, man. No one cares about them as they used to. At the same time, there's a very big resurgence of people treating film seriously, where it's like young people being like, like, so it's different. I don't know. I can't speak to it, but I don't really care. That's the main point. Not that I'm like trying to brush their brushes away, but regardless of what the audience is, like, I'm doing this. So that's sort of the way it is.
You just pointed out something kind of interesting that I feel like, okay, I've already brought up the idea of an Entourage resurgence a couple of times. I do feel like if they brought this show back now, it would be tailored to a different audience because of that exact reason. Is we were talking about the nerd culture before. Well, nerd culture has been replaced by film culture. So it's the letterboxed.
It would be a
hey,
letterbox show.
I wear the Criterion T-shirts.
No.
I actually love Vinegar Syndrome most.
Vinny in the Criterion closet would be an episode. Absolutely,
that'd be sick.
Yeah.
It would. The idea of it's good, but I bet it would suck. Like
you would get like the Paul Schrader jokes and in references and Safdie brothers style editing.
Ellis pod.
Yeah. So it would be like the version of the studio, but kind of real. I get like the New York version of that, which is something I would watch it, but I wouldn't like it as much. As and the system that's existing during Entourage is very like, if you make your independent film, if you make your, like, I'll say Brothers McMullen is one from the 90s, right? That got that director.
That was the Ed Burns. Right?
Ed Burns.
Yeah.
Ed Burns gets into the system because 20th Century Fox, their indie film division, puts his movie out. And then suddenly they're like, all right, well, this kid has potential. He'll work for cheap. Let's give him all the scripts we've purchased over the last year. Take your pick. We have this actor who's interested in this one over here. There's all these internal politics that do exist, but it's receded so much more, and it's not as readily available to people who are on the outside. Like Sean Baker is probably being offered Warner Brothers movies or something now. So I think the big thing here is, if you do get that opportunity to take on a blockbuster, if you're operating on my level or DC's level, or anybody who's working with, like, frankly, just like less than $100,000 on your project, I think you have to take it. I mean, obviously, not painting broad strokes here. There could be stipulations to that. If someone's going to be a big pain in the ass, it might not be worth it. It might make you want to quit filmmaking.
Like me chasing him down.
Right.
Of Doctor Strange 3. Yeah, absolutely.
But if you can deal with that and you can get through it, you can come out better for it if you keep your ethos intact. But a lot of these guys do not, and they go, wow, I really love living in a big house in this gated off area, and I want to do like 3 more of these, and maybe I'll get back to my actual filming. And then they never do. So you see all these directors from like the early 2010s of filmmaking who made like one really interesting or one really stylized feature. They got sucked up into Disney and Warner Brothers. They do commercial films, and now it's just nothing but that. So I personally believe that the most important thing to avoid as somebody who makes things is stagnation and getting caught in the same loop, the same spiral. You're doing the same thing over and over and not yielding any new results. You have to shake up your environment every so often, just in some way or another. And something like that does a terrific job of doing that. So I would probably be in for Crazy Rich Asians too.
Nice.
But nothing but that.
I have a good idea for an Entourage reboot. Just one as a one-off, like kind of the one-off episode. It wouldn't sincerely could not make a show about this, but Johnny Drama's back, right? But he's getting older, obviously. I don't know how old Kevin Dillon is now, but I'd guess he's close to 60 years old right now, I would guess.
Yeah.
So he gets a job with Ryan Coogler, a new Ryan Coogler movie.
I had to bring up Ryan Coogler somehow. I'm very happy you did.
So yeah, I know. Trust me, I saw it too. I saw Sinners, but anyways,
you weren't a fan?
I fucking hated that movie.
Yeah, me too.
But anyways, but let's say he does another like racism period piece or something, Ryan Coogler, but he casts Johnny Drama, and Johnny Drama is like an old racist guy at this point in the movie, but he's looking for work. And then what Johnny Drama does is, his whole thing is he's a polished actor and he's been there before. His stories are the same as Vinny Chase's stories. It's all the same. He does all these false equivalencies. So he goes into, so a good episode would be him putting the N-word into the script, like saying it. Like, he's like, well, that's what my character would do. And that would be a good episode of Entourage in the current day, because when I watch Sinners, I'm like, damn, these guys are not racist enough.
Yeah, he could be a racist cop in Fruitvale Station 2.
Fruitvale Station 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think
there was
something
something that happened in 2020 that Ryan Coogler could make a film about. I'm not going to say what, but you know.
Fauci, dude. We're getting
No, that's a Clint Eastwood. That would be
Kevin
Clint
Dillon
Eastwood's
is
final.
Fauci.
Clint Eastwood's final movie will be Fauci the movie.
Denzel Washington is Fauci. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be so sick. I want to see. This has nothing to do with. I got confused by your example, and I'm sort of lost here. But I want to.
What are you lost on? I'll be happy to explain it to you. I've thought about this a lot.
So Ryan Coogler is making a new movie, and he's gonna cast
in Entourage.
In Entourage, sure, and he's gonna cast Johnny Drama
as like a racist bar owner or something. It's like a period piece or something.
Okay.
It's a short thing. So Drama like probably doesn't even have a line or anything, but he's like, I'm so into character. He like calls Michael B. Jordan the N-word or something. Like,
he says it.
He's like, this is what my character would do. And it goes like viral for him being like racist or something. I think it'd be really fun. It'd be like totally in his character, even though he's like not that type of guy.
Mhm.
Like, I think it'd be a fun experiment or something. I don't know. I don't think you can base a season off of that, but it would be a fun one-off Entourage reboot.
What is this, like a deconstruction of what it means to be an actor?
You know what this is? This feels like a plot point that doesn't come up, like that does come up on the show, but we never see it. It's just like we're picking up in Entourage now, and Johnny Drama has been canceled, and this is why.
Yes, yeah, like even a flashback in a situation or something like that.
Vox Lux has ruined this man's brain. He wants to do this again. It's the same thing. Natalie Portman did some weird stuff.
I just bought tickets to the in-person Q&A with Brady Corbet today for Vox Lux. So
that's sick.
Let me sneak in. Let me sneak in with you. I got some questions.
Yeah. Glenn. Actually,
how'd you gain so much weight, Brady? That's gonna be my question.
I mean, my thing is, you should be, if you're getting fat, you should be making better movies.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. This is crazy. This might be completely false. Wasn't the next movie that Brady Corbet was doing supposed to be like a Black Asian Western? Isn't that exactly
the
Rush Hour 4?
Hoppa Goes West or Shanghai Hoppa Nights or something?
Fantastic bits, fellas, but that's real. I'm pretty sure that he's doing a Black Western. Chinese Western.
Is this a bit? I've never.
No.
You act like I follow what Brady Corbet's next movie is.
The Sinners prequel.
Yeah,
dude. Haters are secretly fans. That's what I learned.
The biggest. So you're a fan of Brady Corbet.
I love him.
Yeah, all right. You love him. All right, got it.
No, but Brady Corbet next movie, guys. This is important because that would be a good thing for Entourage, the new season. Brady Corbet is making Sinners, and at the same time, Ryan Coogler is making Sinners. And you have the dueling studios.
Bob Ryan wrote the script in 1977, and it's just been sitting around. Yeah, I got
and so who do you give the release to? It's like a failsafe and Doctor Strangelove situation where both the movies are based on the same book, but you don't know which one to release. Of course, you got the Prestige.
You would go with Coogler.
He's got the Prestige, but then you got Corbet.
Yeah.
Corbet hires Vinny Chase. Coogler hires Johnny Drama.
Yeah, and they haven't spoken for a while because they've both been so busy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we're writing.
Everyone poo-poos my idea, but look at what it gives fucking all this inspiration for.
No. But
great bit, Glenn. That was so fucking funny. Yeah, guess what? Guess who comes up with the episode of Entourage? Yeah.
No. It was
thankless
first
job.
of all.
I'm Eric Murphy. I'm fucking Eric Murphy. Thankless job. Go home to Sloan. Have a couple beers at the house.
Yeah, what's your best E impression? Go fuck yourself.
Dude, his real voice now is insane. Like he'll be like, hey, Adrian, we was on set and I was like, Adrian will come out of his trailer. By the way, I love the trailer scene, by the way, where Johnny Drama's jacking off in the fucking trailer with the Ed Burns movie is a classic, by the way.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring that up. But anyways, I can't do an Eric Murphy impression. And all these guys are tough to do impressions of. They're kind of tough. They're not as cartoonish as you think when you try to do it. Like they don't stand out. It's more of a facial expression thing, which I also can't do. But the Kevin Dillon, you'd have to do like the facial expression, and all that. But
maybe it's because I can't do them, but impressions suck. Usually, like 95% of the time, is like
Yeah,
the,
I
just
mean,
the shittiest thing you can do.
I think you
probably.
have to have it in your mind that you're not perfect at like that. Like I think the people that pretend that they do like you see the YouTube thumbnails like vocal instructor nails Mississippi accent and she's like I said window instead of window or and it's like that's like those are huge on YouTube but when people just like it's still there, it's like when you South Park style it where it's like you can tell it's Trey Park, you can tell it's Matt Stone, but they're just doing a voice. I think those are better. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at SNL, the key to a successful impression on that show is just making a cartoonish, not really anything like the real person version of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, and then the my favorite cop out, and I've said it before on the show, but it is a cop out because you think about all the times this is just not true. Is where they say, well, to impersonate somebody, you have to like them. I'm like, dude, you see an impression of my boss, dude. I fucking hate that guy, and I nail it, dude. It's fucking so good. And,
it's basically bullying, right? If you're doing an impression of someone, it's like it's not respect. You're just like
Yeah, I think when you do it like long form, like because the two ones you think about is Alec Baldwin versus Shane Gillis Trump, right? Those are the two ones where like Shane Gillis is a little more apologetically. I don't think he's a Trump guy, but I think he's like not like Alec Baldwin, right? Like I don't where Alec Baldwin's sucks in my opinion. Like of Donald Trump, like I don't think it's very good at all. Like I've never understood. I was sent so many clips by family members of epic Alec Baldwin impressions. I thought they were terrible.
You know, the guy they have on now on SNL used to do like a terrific Trump impression when it was audio only. Now that they have him performing it, he's got to wear that like turtle face that looks nothing like Trump. He blows now at Trump.
And you probably just shouldn't like impersonating Trump nowadays is just like it's kind of tough to like find something new that's really exciting about that, like it's just I feel like that day passed in terms of that. But season four while we wrap up, guys, season 4.
What is season 3? Any thoughts? You love it.
I do love it. It's funny though, because it's just like background noise to me a lot of times, and I realize how like I watched them, and then I'm seeing these episode titles. I'm like, what is that? But I watched it, and
Ari. Vince goes shopping for a new agent with the gang. Ari tries to stop Vince from getting that new agent. I don't remember this one.
I like the Five Towns billboard bit. That was pretty good. Where he's constantly sitting in the background and seeing if people are looking at the billboard. I like the idea of like an actor who's actually way more popular than Johnny Drama, like that was doing that, and that's in the show. Who's like actually like Kevin Bacon or something. Like somebody who's like a little bit more of a household name doing that, and then they're putting that in as a Johnny Drama bit. I thought that was pretty good.
Nick Rubenstein. We didn't bring up Nick.
I do like Nick Rubenstein a lot.
That's Adam Goldberg's character, right?
Okay. Yeah, and the Yom Kippur episode's pretty damn good too, where they're trying to broker a deal on Yom Kippur. But the more higher up they need to go is like the more orthodox the Jewish man. So he's like absolutely not talking today. Like that was pretty good. I don't know anything about Yom Kippur, but I get the idea you can't use a phone. So that's the only thing I know.
As far as season 4, I gotta say they really made Adrian Grenier look like the lounge singer that would be Andy Kaufman's double. What was his name? Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
He was playing Pablo Escobar.
Okay. When the fat suit or not the fat suit, but that's funny. Sofia Vergara is pretty funny because it is funny to see a guy like Billy Walsh squander all his integrity over pussy. That was pretty good. That he doesn't.
Anna Faris as well, which is so funny.
That's a good one.
But the same principle.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. He does because that's E, right? E kind of.
No, what I mean is like Billy Walsh also is like I've seen all the scary movies.
Yeah. I'm a cinephile. I've seen everything 20 times or whatever he says. That's pretty good. Yeah, and the Anna Faris. Well, I like the part where Anna Faris is on set and her like boyfriend, I don't know if he's like the director or like a DP or something. I couldn't remember what it was, but I like when E dates a new girl, all her boyfriends looked like versions of him, like because Seth Green was the Sloane's ex-boyfriend, and they're all just these like short redheaded guys. I like that. I like that idea because and they get intimidated because he looks like them too, which I thought that was pretty funny. Seth. How much money does Seth Green have, by the way? He has a shit ton of money. Huh?
Well, if you listen to Isaac Cappy, he's got a basement full of child slaves, so enough money to afford that.
Who is Seth Green?
I mean that not even ironically. I know him from the show, but I have no idea what he does outside of Entourage.
Family Guy, Adult Swim. He had that Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Austin Powers.
He's probably best known for producing a bunch of animated series now, but back in the day, it was Austin Powers, it was Buffy, he was in It, the original TV movie.
That's right.
Yeah, he played Richie in that. So
that's right. That's funny.
He's got a lot. He's a very eclectic guy.
Yeah, but I just mean all that adult. I wonder how much that Adult Swim money like actually accumulates into. I'm sure it's a shit ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because I know Robot Chicken was huge. Like,
man, that's a show I've never seen, but all the kids in school loved it.
Yeah, it was huge. I'm Adult Swim. I didn't really watch a lot of Adult Swim, but I didn't watch a lot of TV. Period. That's why I didn't see Entourage around that time. I was just like not watching TV. So it was. Yeah, I liked the premiere. Or I guess the first episode of season 4 when they do it, like you said, Tropic Thunder style. I think Lowres is what you said.
It is so Tropic Thunder before Tropic Thunder.
Was that before Tropic Thunder?
I believe so. Tropic Thunder is 2008.
Yeah.
So you get that, and it's a documentary, Hearts of Darkness style vibe to it, where Billy Walsh is holding this witch hunt to find out who's fucking Sofia Vergara.
He thinks it's that one fat Colombian guy. Dude. I love that part.
He's like a gaffer. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, Billy's great, man. That one's good. And what was it? And then Johnny Drama's got this 5 Towns hat on. He's like, I contractually can't be in this movie. That's why I wasn't offered a part because I have a hit series on NBC, the 5 Towns.
Yeah.
5 Towns. I always want to call it 4 Brothers, but that's a actual Mark Wahlberg movie. But yeah, that was good. Any other thoughts on season 4, guys? I mean,
dude, come on, no can do than the Can kids. Those are the two.
Well, you're the one that has to tell me about Can, Mister. I just went there.
No,
I've never been to Can, DC. Spill.
Not just have I been, I was there in an official manner. I'm not a tourist. Okay, I
didn't say you were. Are you suffering from imposter syndrome right now? Because nobody said you were.
Actually, I'm very important there. Yeah, everybody near me. I saw Emily Ratajkowski there. That was an Entourage reference.
I thought you did. I was like, oh
no, I did see her. But I know her from Entourage as well. All of these people, lots of these celebrities, I don't know from outside. I'm not like
I know her from naked pictures on Twitter.
Robin Thicke. You know Robin Thicke?
Classic Robin Thicke. Yeah. It's been a while since he's been famous, right?
He was
not allowed to be famous. Yeah, he was not allowed to be famous after a certain point, right?
Gone too soon.
Man, you know there was like a sex counselor at my school. Did you ever have those?
Was it Robin Thicke?
No, Robin Thicke related, but did you guys have that, like sex counseling in school?
No, not really. I mean, we had like it was called Family Life. Instead, they took sex education out because I think liberal California, but around that time they called it Family Life, but it was still like sex, we're still talking about the same old thing. But yeah, we didn't have a sex counselor. I don't know what does that entail?
I don't know what they're called. Yeah, it was in French, so I'm doing rough.
Does he coach it?
Well, it was stuff about like how to put a condom on a banana and stuff like that.
This just some guy that invited you into a portable by yourself?
Yeah, I got a private course and everything. It was 5 star.
You were the best one at the talk earlier, so we just wanted to.
That's a great movie, by the way. Mysterious Skin is really terrific.
I've never seen it.
That's Mamma Mia. But anyways, about that, the only reason why I bring this up is that basically she turned this into like it's supposed to be sex counseling or whatever, sex education, and she turned it into a covert political sort of jihad. And basically she was just like, the most vile, sexist thing I've ever seen in my entire life is that song by Robin Thicke. Blurred lines. Yeah. Because it blurs the line of consent, and it's such a disgusting song. But I won't get too far into it. And then she stopped herself. So that's what I remember of
Blurred Lines was like the original TDS for that era. That's
right. I forgot all about it because and then like there was like a woke thing about it where he was stealing Marvin Gaye's song, so it was like the whole white guy stealing a black guy. Because it's a Marvin.
Seen his dad? His dad was doing that his whole career.
Growing Pains the GOAT, dude. Yeah, you kidding me? He was Canadian, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, R.I.P. Dude, loved Alan Thicke, man. It was that. But yeah, that was.
Who was on Growing Pains? DiCaprio. Oh. DiCaprio was part of the Pussy Posse with Kevin Connolly. Eve from Entourage. Look at it's all.
Wow.
Yeah, that is funny that Kevin Connolly was like they talk about him like because he's with like Wahlberg and DiCaprio and stuff, and it's like was he the guy going the most ham? You think? Because like he was not the biggest star.
I don't think so. I mean, have you guys seen Don's Plum?
No.
Dawn's Plum is horrible. It's a horrible movie, but there's a very interesting documentary the New York Post released on the making of it and how Tobey Maguire's like a rageaholic who got these guys blacklisted and turned DiCaprio on them. It feels very Entourage. I would say, it's almost mandatory viewing for this type of thing to get like the greater context of what else is going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. But Cannes.
Yeah,
You went to
Cannes.
Cannes. You went to Cannes. So obviously Entourage,
can't.
Medellin, they're trying to sell Medellin before anybody's seen it, but then they're like, no, let's screen it at Cannes. They keep not knowing when to hold them, right? Like they really, it ends up being a bad movie. Because isn't the joke? I don't know anything about Cannes. Isn't the joke that everything gets a standing ovation?
Yes, so that's
so they don't get that at all in Entourage.
You can usually it's like Cannes is very funny in the way that this is very childish behavior. Like it's the most prestigious festival in the world, but you'll have films like Only God Forgives where people just walk out. Half the room walks out. The rest are standing ovationing. Ovating standing, but the rest of like half the room leaves, and these are critics and top industry people. So it's very interesting how they're babies basically. They're Goo Goo Gaga babies, and even when I was there, people were laughing at weird spots. For the premiere of the movie I was there for, there's like a guy just texting in the theater at Cannes at the world premiere of this movie. That by the way, I don't know what it's like to be at Cannes for a bad movie because the one that I was there for won the palm. But it's all right. We'll talk about it later. But even for that exact thing, just to show you how much of a childish baby game it is, like it's just obviously a ton of cool people, the best in the world, et cetera, and I really respect it, but you'll have just the oddest contrast there, like the huge theater, everybody's dressed up, all the billions of euros, and then you got a guy texting at the world premiere. It's nuts.
Well, famously, Roger Ebert started singing I'm Singing in the Rain during the Brown Bunny, right? So even a man of that caliber.
Really?
Yeah.
There's something in the water. Yeah.
Wait, during which part?
Good question. I was getting Billy Walsh, Vincent Gallo vibes when he was trying to do the gay blowjob. He did remind
me of Vincent Gallo a lot, actually.
Yeah,
that was definitely. I could see him being like, I could see him MAGA posting hard like Billy Walsh now. Like as like a transgressive.
Yes, this is all part of the new Entourage, by the way. Billy Walsh is back.
That would be.
He is MAGA.
Yeah, defends Kevin Dillon, who made a mistake saying the N-word on Sinners, new Sinners, the Sinners that might not get released.
Not the Corbet one. Yeah.
Yes. And so, but Billy Walsh hears about it and is reflexively defending it, therefore leaking parts of the,
Billy Walsh is very like Dime Square, Peter Thiel funded. He hangs out with like 24-year-old girls. Kevin Dillon is part of like the old guard conservative.
Yes, Dasha in his new movie. I love it. Absolutely. You know what? I could actually see that being a storyline on a new Entourage. Because like you said, the lines would be blurred a little bit. Like there would be a little bit of this Criterion Closet and Letterboxd. Oh my gosh, my son, Ari Gold's son, didn't put Vinny's new movie on his Letterboxd top 10 this year. Like just bullshit like that. Would we have? I mean, that is kind of funny actually. But
I suck, but I disagree, man. Because like it's not going to happen because you don't have young writers. You don't have.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen regardless. But
it's going to happen in some way or the other because these guys can't stop themselves. They gotta chew the bones of the Entourage, whatever the spoils of the Entourage that's left. So it might be a podcast where they read the scripts. That might be our fucking Entourage comeback, but it is going to happen. And what's going to happen is that they're going to try to do the exact same things, maybe add like 2012 like sort of commentaries on, but not in a racial way but not in a gay way, like that sort of like. So
and just like that is what that show is exactly. Is you have these hiccups still in 2025 where they are doing that because whoever's running HBO right now, their priorities are in the wrong place when it comes to making original programming. You wouldn't get an Oz. You wouldn't get any of these Taxi Cab Confessions. It's just sad state of affairs.
What's currently on HBO? I think White Lotus is the one I know about.
White Lotus.
Hacks,
which I have a guilty pleasure for Hacks. I think that's Max. That's Max only. It's not even on like the cable channel, like HBO, I guess. Which that's a newer thing.
There's All the Way.
Yeah, I don't know what their big show. Oh, the Pedro Pascal Bella Ramsey show. That fucking is like.
Oh well, it's just the Bella Ramsey show now. I
Yeah,
hear.
that's true. Oh, spoiler alert! I didn't know that, but I'm not gonna watch it. But yeah, I guess Pedro Pascal's not. It's the one movie he's not in anymore. Is that thing? So yeah, there's
Sickening.
yeah. Jay
that's
does not like him. He's very past lives coded, I think.
Who, Pedro?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
well,
much
yeah,
so.
he's in Materialist,
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of he takes every single job. The oversaturation is completely real.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever offer like variety in his performance. He's
Mhm.
not especially good looking. It's just why. I mean, I don't understand why he gets every single role.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I don't think I've ever seen him other than Game of Thrones when he gets his eyes poked out, which I didn't know
Best
that was him
moment.
at the time. I didn't know that was him. I didn't even know who that was. I learned that now that was him. So
And
it's not even like
unfortunately, we know that Pedro Pascal would be on new Entourage. He would be one of the first
For
people
sure.
they would get for a celebrity cameo.
Is he on?
Ari would like botch a dinner where he would like not want to protect the dolls or something, and Ari would say something, would slip up, and then Pedro Pascal drops him as a client or something. I could see that. Yeah, absolutely.
There's just so much on this guy, Pedro Pascal. I don't know where you did you like him anywhere? Was he good in something?
I've never
Anybody. I mean,
yeah.
really. I think The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is probably the one I enjoy, but everybody hated that movie.
I don't
People
even
did
know
not
what
like that one.
That's the
It's
Nick Cage meta movie with David Gordon Green.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I might check that out. But yeah,
No, and I'm not just dropping a movie name here. Really, like what was he
I don't
so
know.
good in that he became the Wonderkind?
I think it's the Last of Us. They love him, and what's the Star Wars, the Disney Plus Star Wars? That's what everyone really loves him in. The
What?
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh.
Mandalorian was the turning point.
That's
where
what
they were
everybody.
like,
I think that's what like made him. Because now he's in the new Fantastic Four, where they're trying to make it look like a '60s thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
my theory here is Pedro Pascal came in right at the time when they were like, we're done casting white dudes. We're very tired of white dudes. We don't like
Yeah.
masculinity. But Pedro Pascal gives like enough of the masculinity, even though like you observe this guy for more than a second. It's like,
Yeah.
that ain't it. And he's not white technically, even though he's like clearly European genes. And so he's the guy. He's been shoehorned as the guy. We're gonna have
Right.
this guy.
Yeah.
And I think that was why he was a go-to. And he managed to become part of so many successful projects in the process, like The Mandalorian and
Last of Us.
yeah, Last of Us, Game of Thrones. There's enough hits there. I mean, there's a lot of shit too. Like he was in Judd Apatow's The Bubble. That's one of the most unwatchable movies to ever be made. Drive Away Dolls. I thought it was a fun movie. Gladiator 2, not a good movie though.
Didn't see it. I'm scared still as to watching that movie. Yeah, no thanks.
So I think that's it.
Yeah, I will say about the Cannes part of Entourage. How they get there is awesome because a young Kanye West. Back when Kanye West used to wear pink polo shirts and shit, that was a completely different time. This was like college dropout era, maybe late registration era.
Sidney Pollack, you forget because that was supposed to be the first ride.
Sidney Pollack, there was a weight issue, FAA, whatever thing was happening that where you couldn't get. Was it Turtle or what? Turtle was probably going to be the odd man out, maybe, or something. They couldn't fit them all on there to get them to Cannes, but then Kanye says, "Fuck it, like we're gonna ball out and roll."
Because he's flying a 747 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I mean that was when he was becoming look how skinny he looked too, man. It was crazy. Like you just forget what he used to look like.
Yeah,
because I don't know what he just looks insane now, and I'm not even trying to hate on him or anything. You look at him, you're like his jowls and stuff. Like he's going to become like an Orson Welles or some point, like a black Orson Welles, kind of like just swollen grape of a man.
Orson Welles. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back.
Right.
Yeah.
So much wordplay this episode.
Oh wow, it's RC, dude. I mean, it's what happens. DC was like, I'm not going to do any wordplay because that's what Glenn likes. Yeah, that's what Glenn likes. I would never do that.
I like.
Nah.
I like words.
Okay. But anyway,
what was that Napoleon Dynamite ass moment that just happened here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Great movie. Fuck. My gosh.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Well, you were one when it came out.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure. I might. I think it came out in 2004 or something. So that's. Anyways, probably not worth revisiting. It was just a You know what was funny though when that movie came out? It came out and it was released, in my opinion, like very small release, and it was one of the first movies that like the DVD release of it made it massive because I saw it. It came out right before school started, so I saw it with my buddy, and nobody was in the theater or anything, and we were talking about how funny this fucking movie was. We're like 13, 14 or whatever, and then everyone at school's like, that looks gay. Would never watch that movie. It looks really stupid. Then it comes out on DVD and they're like, have you seen this movie? I'm like, you fucking bitch, dude. I just told you how good that movie was the whole time. So that I always thought that was, and my aunt lived in Idaho and she would visit the house that the Napoleon Dynamite house you could just like go into. It has like that kind of lore. It was nuts, man.
Good times.
Were they? I don't know, but that was it was definitely a time. It was definitely a time. So,
then what's the point of this episode? Are we coming to a big conclusion, or
what's the point of the episode?
Yeah, I feel like we like Entourage. Is that a final review or something? Like
you're the one that has the most criticisms of it.
Well, hold on a second. This is only part one. It's like getting to the middle of the Brutalist and not.
You're the one. Oh, Johnny Drama sucks. Actually, actually, I don't want to deconstruct this, but let me deconstruct it. Vinny Chase is actually evil, and I'm like this.
Well, Vinny Chase sucks as an actor, I think, in the realm of the show. And these people are pretty vapid and bad.
No, they're not.
They're cool.
I don't know if I'd say any of them.
Everybody they bring in outside of the circle is worse than them.
Yeah. But I mean, you're in hell.
No, you're not.
Who's the worst of them, DC?
The worst of the guys?
Yeah,
definitely.
Or just
power rank. We got to power rank your Entourage cast.
Oh man, Turtle's the worst for sure because he's got no
Turtle.
juice. he's got no fun. No, really, he's a disgusting guy. He's disgusting. He's got no creativity. Johnny Drama sort of is evil. I don't like him. I don't like his face. I don't like his speech. Vinny Chase is just bad, pure bad, chaotic, neutral, just normal guy, neutral, evil, whatever it is. Then after that, there's E's pretty evil. Then we have who else?
You seem like you're a big believer in the idea of passivity being evil. If you rank Turtle first,
100%, because at least people are chasing something. You know, if you go, and of course I understand the Taoist point of view. You know, the sort of like let it happen. Don't try to push your way into it.
Don't try to earn points on this show by bringing up Taoism. Dude.
I got the TTC on my desk right here. What the hell are you talking about? What stupid world is it where Psy has a control on the world religions? What kind of evil world is it where Psy?
He would tell you that there is no control of it. So you've assigned him that.
Therefore,
you're not. Therefore, you're not the Tao. You're not the Tao.
Of course, I'm not the Tao.
Yeah, duh.
Who says I'm the Tao? Did I say I'm the Tao?
No, well, you said you were like consuming it and getting really excited about it and brought it up.
I'm reading a book just like anything. Just like
you're not reading a book. You didn't even get past Journey Through the End of the Night, the first fucking page. Dude.
No, it sucks, man. I can't handle that stuff, man. You're probably like, oh, it was really good because the guy didn't resist. You know, but I don't think it's a good
resist.
Yeah, the temptation of becoming a doctor. He's a doctor. You know, like
what did you look up? What did you look up that about Journey Through the End of the Night?
Oh no, all the controversy I don't really care about. That's not my point.
No. I mean, what do you think happened in that book?
I don't know. I read the first 2 pages.
That's a good book. It's a good book.
Cafe. Yeah, everybody says so. But the thing is, now whatever I read doesn't mean I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Like the TTC. The TTC is just an Amazon book I bought, just like anything else.
The Tao Te Ching is what you're talking about. That's 50 pages long, by the way. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect length. That's
and it's in stanza form where there's like 3 lines a page. So you completely disagree with it, which you can't. By the way, you're actually not allowed. Like I don't think you can disagree. with it.
I didn't say I disagree necessarily. I'm agnostic about the TTC. But the point being, like, in terms of Entourage, I don't see how all these characters are not evil. They're just bad. They're just bad guys.
No, dude, don't do the anti thing.
I'm not doing the anti. No. I love the show, but tell me about it. Tell me why they're bad guys.
They're not.
Why?
Why are they bad? They don't do anything bad.
They're not doing anything good either, and they're just chasing wealth. Okay, they're chasing all the worst things.
Yeah, they're chasing wealth.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
why
they
they're
are.
bad. What are you
Yes.
talking about?
No,
I
no,
thought there
okay,
was
but,
more
like-
to that. I was ready for more to
No, they're
come out.
chasing wealth. They're chasing, they're living in lust. These people are living
Oh
in
god, you're doing
lust.
7 deadly sins of Entourage.
I'm not doing 7 deadly sins. I don't like anime. All I'm saying is these guys are not good people. What have they done for the world? They make bad movies.
You don't know that Aquaman was bad. First off,
It
you
was
don't know that Queens Boulevard was bad.
No, that's actually someone I want to see that one. I want to see that one if I
Yeah,
could.
you don't know.
But no,
that
but seriously, let's. I'm not trying to do this weirdo thing. Like, what? They're bad guys.
they're not bad.
Why?
They don't. Again, they're if anything, they're nothing. If anything,
Which
is
is
not
bad.
No, it's not.
Nothing is bad.
If your entourage was something, they're usually destructive. By the way, if they
And
were
that's what they are in this
something, but
in
they're
this
not.
series.
They're not destructive.
How are they
Vinny.
not? They enable the absolute worst. The worst behaviors possible.
But they don't. Vinny's gonna do all this stuff anyways.
Well, that's just like give your mom a hit of heroin. Then
My mom's
Give
not
you-
gonna
give-
do heroin if I don't, though.
that's right. But if you do help her, then you're helping her out in that way.
Vinny's going to chase pussy. He's
Yeah.
going to be really, he's not going to read his scripts. He's
Yeah.
going to do all of the things that he's already doing. If those guys
Yeah.
aren't there, he's just going to be a lot lonelier and perhaps a bit more annoying, and probably more outward with his annoyingness rather than keeping it within the confines of the house. If these guys
Join
aren't there.
MS-13 then. They're probably going to do their stuff
What are you
just
talking
like
about?
they are. But if you help them out, you're part of the problem.
Lowres, are they evil? I don't think anybody on Entourage is evil.
No, I think the only evil characters are all the women that sleep with Vinny and Lloyd.
Lloyd is not evil.
Lloyd's not evil.
Lloyd's the only good guy.
Get out of here. He's
No, it's not true. There's probably other good guys as well. But dude, these guys are not. I thought it was. I'm not even saying that it's a bad show. I love Entourage.
you're not. They're not evil. That's a misread of this.
How are they not? Jay, I need your input on this because Glenn's been telling me all this Jabberwocky stuff about
Jabberwocky.
Listen, I watched the full series when it came out, but I would really need to see the rest of 4 and where it goes and where it ends and where they pick up with the movie to tell you. Because I think if it did wind up circling the drain into this nihilist, hey, everybody's washed up ending, which is not what happens with Entourage, then I would probably agree with you. Or if it came at the expense of, like, in a very significant way, somebody's morality. But I do think that they encapsulate, kind of similar to the Sex and the City characters, a lot of the most gluttonous traits that can be exacerbated when you're living in one of these cities and going with what's expected of you in these industries, right? I think that's more transparent with Sex and the City because they're, it's very easy to demonize women for getting passed around, getting used up, and rightfully so, frankly. But
hell yeah, brother.
With Entourage, you never see it go to like a point where you have Aaron Paul getting checked into rehab for his addictions because his girl overdosed and somebody watched and knew it was happening. You don't have that moment. Does it happen?
Have you not seen Entourage? I don't want to spoil our 5 to the 6.
Well, but that's the thing. I'm only talking about seasons 1 through 4, though. I can't. I may have a different answer our next talk.
Okay, well then look, to be continued, because I don't remember that personally. It's been 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Seasons 1 through 4, you cannot say they're bad people.
Yeah.
It just, I'm sorry, there's nothing there to say that. I leave plenty of room for that to happen, of course.
I would say Turtle, actually, you have a case for Turtle in season 1 because he is just not multifaceted at all.
Yeah, he's just a slob, dude. He's like a sloth, but not cute.
He just doesn't have the like chops and like bars to do anything that's actually catastrophic other than like bang up someone's car, just something like that. When that's what it's like. The only guy that can really the guys that can really do like E can do something like horribly wrong, and he's only done a few things, but it's all he makes up for it usually, and it's not. I don't think the stuff he's doing is in like poor taste or anything. Now
they're just man, I don't know how to say that. It's very empty and superficial. These characters, that's what they are, and that's another. Like,
here's
I'm not
what
saying,
I would say. I don't think that they're bad people, but I don't think that they're good people. I certainly don't. All these minor infractions that are commonplace for Hollywood that they do wind up succumbing to. From this point, obviously, we'll get into the later half.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that they're bad, but they're certainly not making a case that they're good people just because they happen to have, integrity as long as it relates to their circle only.
And I'm not a moralist, by the way. I'm not like, but they suck, man. Like it's a great show because of that. Like if they're a pious, Pontius Pilate, they wouldn't be flying high. You know what I'm saying? It would just be.
Well, okay. So would they be worse in Queen if they all just stayed in Queens with regular jobs?
No. But all these hypotheticals don't change the reality. Like you're right.
No,
You're
if
right.
you're either a good person, you're either a good person or a bad person. I disagree.
Yeah, but they're not in Queens either. So like,
No, they're not. I just mean if you're a bad person, you're going to be bad at every socioeconomic level. You know what I mean? Every stardom, yes, it can definitely intensify some of it when you're a famous star, but that it makes it sound like Vinny loses his soul or through seasons 1 through 4, which he doesn't. It's the same fucking guy the entire time.
Yeah, it's the same bad guy. And
No,
I don't want to keep the hammering your head on this,
Well, you're wrong. I mean, it's just wrong.
Actually, I'm right.
I
Because
don't think so, man. You go to Cannes and you come back. Actually, I'm a media literacy expert over here. No.
It has nothing to do with all these talking points that you love to bring up. You see this on X. You watch Tuck on X, and now you think No. All I'm saying is these guys are these guys are like Pepsi. They're Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? They're like a can with some juice inside, and they use that juice up, and sometimes they get refilled.
Get the fuck out of here.
but they're not good. A can of Pepsi is not good. They're empty as hell. They're shells, And that I'm not saying they're the worst. They're not Al Qaeda, But at the same time, they're not virtuous. They're not anywhere near where a human being could be. And you're right. They could be poor and like that, but they're not poor. So what does that even matter? If they were poor, they'd be like that. That's not an argument.
What I mean is like you see this, like they remind me of just a lucky friend group that got big, but otherwise they were just like smoking weed on couches, playing Xbox, and not hurting anybody.
Oh, so hurting people makes you a bad person necessarily?
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's a fun. We differ in that different definition for sure. Then
your blast radius matters, man. Like it's
no. Of course. I'm not saying if they were all also sucking the blood from green-eyed girls. Okay, like Big Trouble in Little China.
Like are they not roofing girls' drinks? Like they're not doing stuff. Like again, does that happen later? Maybe I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it's
that's true. That's true. Yeah. But they still suck as people. If you're smoking weed, playing Xbox, doing the Xbox tournament, smoking weed. That's pretty bad.
I think you two just have fundamental differences of what you consider bad. Like Glenn is coming from like I feel like a more, maybe not the word traditional is correct here, but I think that there has to be some severity to whatever the action is you're doing,
right,
causing a negative impact. But DC, I feel like you have this more, it's an older idea of what bad and good may be that's come around and become a bit fresher of trying to recognize like sloth as a negative,
You're suffocating your ancestor. You're suffocating your grandpa. If he's still alive,
what would be something they could do to be good? Within the realm of Entourage.
Within the realm, that's. I mean, if you're in hell again, you're in hell. You're like in the pits. And I say this again. This is my favorite show of all time. I love it.
Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, I'm cutting that part out. Go ahead.
No, it really is. I love Entourage. But. It's disgusting. It's like filth. It's like the ending of Berlin Alexanderplatz when you have all the whores and the people just like slothering around. You got the meat house and they're cutting people, and then you see that to me is Entourage. Of course, there's all the cool stuff and the fun stuff, but at the core, it's rotten. It's gross. That's what I love about it.
But DC, is there anything on the planet really that doesn't contribute to an eventual decline in the person on the other end of it that you partake in? Like you compared it to Pepsi. Well, I mean, Diet Coke has done a lot of good for me personally.
Me too. I love Diet Coke
for my morale. But I mean,
wow. Get off your high horse, then. Fuck.
But if a person's Diet Coke, I puke. I'm saying these people are Diet Coke. These people are canned
Diet Coke.
Yes,
the president. Yeah, not your president.
Hey, your president's something else, man.
Yeah. No, but it was just saying like these people are just like a product. They're just like a factory line, sort of beep, 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 assembly line type of guys. I love DC like as a drink.
Wordplay. It comes back to wordplay. Beautiful. I love it.
No, but I'm saying like I love this water bottle because it keeps me wet. But at the same time, if a person's that sucks, man. Like if a person has no more depth than this water bottle, a person is just like a fucking object with fluids in them. That sucks.
So you like the show because it doesn't have depth? Is there
The show has depth, but these characters are superficial.
interesting?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know that I understand. However, there is.
We don't need to spend more time on it.
However, there is a part 2 of this coming up, and I will come back to it because I don't forget this shit. So, next one is gonna be we're gonna watch Ari Gold the movie, which I think exists. We're gonna do that. I don't know.
Can I share my screen? Do you know DeBrick? Sorry.
Oh, was that what you were trying to do this whole time? Sorry.
Yeah,
it's in like a weird mode on the bottom. I didn't know.
Is that John Boyega?
It is.
Okay.
It's a Doug Ellin film.
Oh, why does all of his shit look so cheap? Does he do the Photoshop posters himself?
He's got the U-cut editor, like
John Ridley.
Yeah,
this looks like a fake movie in Entourage.
Exactly, but so Doug Ellin is the producer on this.
Okay.
Is that Cash Patel?
Sorry, but so this is one we have to see for sure.
Okay, sure.
With Claudine Benoit.
Coming up, we've got seasons 5 to the 6. 7. Is there 8 of the Entourage?
Well, there's the movie, right?
The movie, yeah, which takes place.
But there's not 8. There's 8 proper seasons, right?
7.
Okay, so 7 plus the movie. They did the whole like Deadwood thing, right, where they just put out a movie to kind of.
Not as much of a layoff, but yeah, there was like a good 5 or 6 year gap between the last season and Entourage the movie.
Got it. Okay, so that'll be our next thing. So guys, TS Cam will be out at some point.
Don't promote my movie after our argument. Don't let our argument color you.
We bring up Roger Ebert, but nobody can handle an argument. I got it. All right. Jeez.
As a matter of fact, Mass State Lottery, I think it's going to be late July. We're going to have some screenings in Boston. So dates to come, and we'll be updating the website.
Very nice. Very nice. Love to hear that. Shout out to David Lee Denny Jr. All right, guys. Everybody have a safe week. We will catch you guys